What the fuck is up, party people? My name is Mystery. Welcome back to another episode of the FBL podcast. And of course, today I am joined with a whole slew of talented coaches and Theo Buster too. So let's get right into it. First up, I have my co-host Nick.
What's up?
My supposed to be co-host, but is probably just going to be like a semi-regular member, Jake.
Hi.
And then we also have Will.
Hello.
And then, of course, the aforementioned Theo.
The court jester of the chat. Me.
So anyways, this is going to be the draft power rankings. This is just nothing to do with coaches, like ability. This is just to do with drafts. And most of these are pretty good. Will's are not. And we can just kind of hop right into it. We're going to start with D1 and work our way down from D1, D2, and then to VGC. We all have agreement that Nintega's team is not very good. I'm going to be switching between the teams, and we're just going to talk about everybody's team. So, who would like to go? Nick, we'll have you go first because you're technically my new co-host. So, what do you think Carboni's team, or not Carboni, Nintega's team is kind of struggling against? What is it not really good with?
It's got good mods. It's just like a mess. So, bottom two are not gonna come like most bottom twos. Honestly, I don't see any fear facing this team, though. That's the big thing. I
think for me, his speed tiers are like very awful. It goes from Zerora and Beedrill, which are like those perfect, but then it goes all the way down to Kadabra, which obviously isn't going to come to most games, and then it goes to Landorus. Like that is just bad, to keep it real. I don't know. I'm not sure what he can even... Like, I think the Hariyama doesn't really have a purpose on this team. Yeah, if anyone else has got thoughts, spit them out.
Yeah, one thing...
Oh, God.
All of us.
We'll have you go, sure.
Yeah, one thing that sticks out to me about this team is the hazard game. It kind of cracks me up that both the setting side and the removal side are the same, where you got Lando as a really good hazard setter and remover, and then from there you go to Mega Beedrill, and that's it. Then like your next option is like copying something with Ditto. So it's just I didn't even realize that. Yeah, both sides. I don't know. To me, I just look at the team and it looks like he left 10 points on the board that he didn't draft with, but maybe that's just me.
No, it definitely looks like that. It's Ditto, Aromatisse, Appleton, Hariyama, like that feels like that should only be like 25-ish points, and it's probably closer to like 35. I don't know. I think definitely there's a lot to be desired with this team. There's just not a ton of synergy outside of like maybe the top 4 or 5-ish. So I don't know. If anyone has suggestions too. Yeah, Jake, you can go.
Also, like on the flip side of this team's pretty linear in what it does. I mean, you look at the top 3 and they maybe have like 2-3 variations of what they do, but it's not like there's a lot of surprise tech on this team, I really feel. And this team, I know Nintendo likes Appleton, so it'll probably come more than it should, but there's at least relying on like the top 6-7 that are going to come a lot of the time. But if you've got like matchup on this, I don't really see how Nintendo like plays around it.
Yeah, I can agree with that completely. He's going to have to outbuild, but that's the thing too, is like Jake said, there's not a ton of creativity to be here. It's like maybe Slowking if you're like Regenerator Life Orb, that'd be cool. Smackdown Lando, that kind of like, you have to bring like good, like just you have to outbuild, and that's going to be pretty tough. So yeah,
Gyro Ball Appleton on fairies, like random stuff like that.
100%. Theo, you're the one who hasn't said anything, so what do you think?
I have 2 other new things that I think he wasted points with Hariyama. I think it was way too many points on our tier, and I don't see any reason he should have drafted it when he could have saved points, got like Sock and then boosted someone else up. Sock or Pisidian, I don't think either were drafted. And it's also sad when I look at his team, I'm more afraid of something I set up with and him just copying it with Ditto and then counter sweeping me than I am with anything on his team.
Yeah, that's kind of fair. Like, I don't know. I think, prove us wrong, Nintega, but we're all in agreement. This is pretty much the worst team in D1. This is where we do have a disagreement, though, is number 11. 3 of us have Carboni and 2 of us have Robert. So the 3 of us that do have Carboni, it is me, Theo, and Will. So we can talk about that first, and then we'll kind of get into why the other 2 think Robert is a little bit lower. I guess I'll start. For me, Carboni's team, I don't know. It's a lot of Pokemon. It's very deep, but there's not really a whole lot of synergy going on. Mega Manectric is a bad Pokemon. Drifblim is situational. Florges kind of sucks, but it's all right. Hitmonlee, Drapion, Cloyce. It's so many like random mons thrown on the team. The only like good synergy I see is like Heatran, Rillaboom, and kind of Lycanroc. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I think this. It's a pretty typical Carboni team that doesn't look great on paper, but he'll probably still go 7-4 and make playoffs. So,
True.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
what-
don't know what's happening.
What it
Yeah.
boils down to
Oh
for
my
me
God.
is like, it looks like the classic Carboni build, and the fact that he's going to be very reliant on like a bunch of mid-tier mons,
Yeah.
and kind of like those, I don't know, the whole like 4 through 9 are like a bunch of mons that he's going to rely on offense. I really like what the grassy terrain does for this team, but yeah, kind of outside of the Zygarde, Heatran, Rillaboom, it just seems like it's lacking in overall like strength and bulk.
Mm-hmm.
I also have to agree with. I can already see he's going to bring his his Lycanroc through Mega Manectric way too many times when he has those top 3 that should always be there. I also agree, but I think Grassy Terrain helps every team. It's like it makes this team look a lot better, but I think it's hard to make a team that doesn't look good. With
Knowing
Grassy Terrain.
Carboni, okay, I want to get an over/under. How many games do you think Drapion goes to? I'm gonna put the over/under at 6.5.
I would say over that.
I'd say over too.
Okay.
I'm gonna say under.
But also,
Okay, I
my
put Mega
last thing
Manectric at 5.5. Do you think he goes over or
Jesus
under that? Because I
Christ.
think he goes over. I don't know, man.
I'm gonna say under on that as well.
Filling Manectric's coming to every game, no cap.
That seems like a Carboni thing to do. I don't know.
okay, but also my last point, it should not compare it directly to the team I drafted, but when I look at this team and I look at fighting resistances, he has one, like good one.
Yeah, it's
And
Uxie,
Uxie?
and then that's weak to knockoff.
He has
So
2.
he's definitely weak to. Oh,
Wait, he has
three.
three. He has 3 fighting.
Yeah, he has
What are you
Florges,
talking
wait.
about?
Hey, who's the third? Okay, but Florges is not taking a good physical move. That's the issue.
Yes, it is.
Or just to be Fizdef.
What are you talking
It runs
about?
max def all the time.
Oh my God, I never
see.
seen-
Do you want a little too early?
Yeah,
No,
that's
I
what I
don't
was
see that he
thinking.
take physical hits ever.
okay. I guess
Oh,
like
not
does it take a Glade close combat into a poison jab?
No, but no, what mine does, it's a fairy.
Oxy.
Diancie.
I said fairy, okay? And
That is
Diane-
very-
Very. Oh, I wasn't.
He's
I didn't
also
hear you say
taking
fairy.
like 75 from close combat.
I'm pretty sure Diane's still probably getting
You're probably right. I don't
No,
know.
I
I
don't think
definitely.
any
I think
Paratype's doing that
there's a
well
little
in
bit of a
Sport.
fighting weakness, and like Florges
I just
shouldn't
think he
come
has an
to
issue
a
with
ton of games
fighting.
because it's Florges. So we'll have to see.
Honestly, I see like most of its games going the same way. Like Drapion sets up a T-Spike, and then he tries to set up with like the Zygarde. He has the Heatran and Rillaboom. I see Hitmonlee coming along with that Unburdened Grassy Seed set, and then like the Manectric to pivot around. Like,
Yeah, that's why I don't
don't
think he
s-
needed Drifblim. Why draft Hitmonlee and Drifblim?
I don't know, maybe just for variation. You know, you can change it up, Palm Mine, Curse. I have no idea.
I mean, if you're going to have a
Curse on
fighting
him,
type
obviously.
in that range, at least it has the extra advantage of having Unburdened.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like Hitmonlee on the team. I don't know if Hitmonlee should be coming to every game. And I think it's going to come to a lot.
For me, the more suspect mon on this team is Cloyster. I would have liked a more bulky water.
Yeah, no,
Cloyster.
100%.
I mean,
I agree
Ice
with
is
that one,
cool
too.
on the team. I mean, as the person, I guess, who's the most high on this team, I think the team is passable. I mean, we've seen how decent Regieleki is in singles, and Mega Manectric is just a worse Regieleki. And it's his third, lowest price mon, so it's not like he's really in a position where he needs to rely on it. While I am higher on it than you guys are, and it's still one of my bottom 5, is that it's really lacking star power outside of the top 3. But I think as the only team that really has 11 usable mons, I think this draft is definitely passable.
Mhm.
To
Okay.
me, Jamal's got a glue mana melt in this one.
And then,
Okay.
so you guys had Nick and Jake. You guys had Robert. So, Jake, what did you see in Robert's team that put it a little bit lower than some of us?
You know,
I think-
on this one.
Outside of the top 7, 8 mons, again, the team is also really lacking star power in my opinion. I just thought the edge of Carboni's over Roberts was the usability of all 11, and there was more terrain abuse that the entire team could kind of go over, where I just see a UU team for Robert.
I think that's fair. I definitely see the lack of depth, and then if you don't have a ton of star power, like you said, and then you also have a lack of depth at the same time, that's definitely an interesting combo. I just think he does have good-ish synergy with some of these mons, so that's why I put it a little bit higher. But I can see it. All right. I think we could move on, unless Nick, is there anything you want to say about that team?
I got a lot to say about this team,
Okay.
but I'll keep it short. Robert went into this season wanting to draft more offensively. He drafted the most bulk I think I've ever seen him draft outside of his Mega Venus team. His main offense is Infernape, which is still going to rely on setup in this case. And he did awful with Infernape last season, right? Infernape last season?
Yeah.
I believe so.
And then the Curum can help, but again, I feel like Robert's going to be setup heavy with it like he usually would be. And I don't know. Like, the Zarude can be offensive, but other than that,
But that's also
I just see
a
Robert
setup
bring,
on, with potential bulk up, that kind of thing. I can agree.
I just see Robert struggling to break teams when all he is playing defense all game. Like, it's just like he fell back into his classic case, and a lot of the FBL D1 coaches just have taken advantage of that over the last couple seasons.
Okay, very fair. So we can move on to number 10, which is a little bit more diversified. There are two people that picked Nova, so I guess that's like our most, me and Theo. What I had issue with in Nova's team, honestly, I could have probably put it at 11, doing a little bit more research. I think this team sucks. It's not good. Outside of the top, 4, I don't see a ton of synergy. Like, it's very sand reliant, but then also Vikavolt is here, Firo, Simi Sage, Regirock. Why? I love my boy Shoops, but let's keep it real. I have to see it to believe it with Blacephalon, because I think that Mon gets, you just bring a very, very specially bulky Mon, and it's forced to run Trick a lot. Maybe I'm just biased against a few of these, but I just don't think it's very good. So Theo, what did you see as well to put it at 10?
It's more of what I don't know. I want to say what I didn't see, because I just kind of looked at it and I don't know. I just thought it was meh. It just seemed fine. Like, the sand was threatening, but I never see Stoutland. I don't think I'll ever see that Stoutland at a game. So it's really just the wall. I think he wasted points with it, because the sand tax makes him waste more points with Stoutland. I don't think it should ever come to a match when he at least has 8 better Pokemon in general.
Yeah.
And then he has a better sand abuser anyway. So I don't think Stoutland should ever come to a match. I think it was a waste of points.
His hazard removal is also pretty bad. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but that was something I was forgetting to mention.
No, that's what I was going to get into next. His hazard removal is, Excadrill, Latios.
And I think Firo, technically.
Yeah.
Firo, yes. And does Vikavolt get defog?
No.
I don't know.
No, it's just
Okay.
webs.
No,
So Latios and Excadrill being spin and defog, and that's...
And you're forcing that, Latios doesn't really, it can run defog. It's not, preferred.
It does a 1-2,
yeah. And then Drill, not really. Especially
looking at the 8 mons that I think would come to matches, I don't think Regirock will come to many, but his bulk seems to lie mainly in Tyranitar, which is pretty good, but then Sylveon, which is pretty good, but it's not I don't think it should be one of your top 2 kind of defensive Pokemon.
I'm going to disagree there. Personally, I'm going to disagree there, because I've had Sylveon as a bag, the main wall of my team a lot of times, and it has put in that work. In this case, though, I will agree that I don't think it should be the main wall. I'm pretty much agreeing with everything you guys are saying, though. The sand is too heavy. Theo, you're talking pretty down on Stoutland when you got 1 normal resist on your team, though, but... that normal resist is getting 2 KO'd by...
I don't know, I just think the Excadrill would still do better against my team than the Stoutland.
I mean, you're not wrong, but it's not there's a 15-point gap between those 2 mons.
I know, I just think he wasted more points.
6 points, and then with the tax it goes to 8, I think?
I think it's 5, but it goes to 7 with the points.
Okay, gotcha. So 7-point Stoutland, that's kind of high. I don't know.
I do see the value in Stoutland on this team. The Regirock, the Firo, and the Simi Sage, I'm lost.
Points, by the way.
Huh?
With the sand, it's 6 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the Sanity. Blacephalon can have its roles. Latios is going to be great. I've always said Latios T-Tar is probably my favorite offensive combo on paper, but in game it doesn't perform half the time. So I I think it's a lot with like Dentega's team. He's gonna have to outbuild, but I don't know if Nova has the ability to outbuild.
Yeah, did he play last season at all? I forget.
Nova? No,
So-
Nova took last season off.
I don't know. It's definitely that's going to be a tough one to come back from. Not playing into having to outbuild people like almost right off the rip. So we'll have to see. Next would be, I guess we'll go since he's in call. We'll go with Jake having Will at number 10.
Talk to me.
So with this team, like initially I liked it, and then I just think like the type composition is really weird, and it's throwing me off. Because I normally like most of the mons that are in like top 5. But what is it, like Ground Resist, Verizian, and Salamence? Is kind of also like Verizian as a grass type on a team that has Mega Lop is also kind of weird. And then what was it? The speed tiers are a little off.
Yeah, speed is not great.
Yeah, speed tiers going from Mence at 100 down to Necrozma and like Blastoise at 78. Like that gap between like 80 and 100 is pretty pivotal for a lot of teams. As much as I love Wigglytuff, that is your fairy type. Been there, done that, was not great.
I also hate that Magnezone's a soul.
Yeah, I was about to say the Dragon Fairy
The
Steel
only
is
flying
Salamence,
resist,
and then
yeah.
Magnezone, and then Wigglytuff. It is not great.
I said, there's a lot of mons I like on this team, but just like together, it's so like weird. I'm
It's like
uncomfortable.
a mosh pit. It's like if a bunch of mons went to a mosh pit and they went home together.
So
Like if the top 6 mons come to a match, cool, but like it's still just like weird.
Will, do you want to like talk about your team since you're the first one to come up? Do you want to just what are you thinking with the team?
Sure. I mean, well, I really wanted Megalope. I had the number 2 pick, so it was kind of my obvious pick. After that, we're really just trying to focus on getting some two-way players, which is kind of what you see, I guess, in the top, I don't know, 8.
Shout out to Necrozma.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I was trying to, like, cross off a bunch of types and stuff like that. I know what you mean about the speed gap. But the thing for me is I got a bunch of mons that have setup opportunities. So, you're taking mons like Blastoise and Salamence and Necrozma, and like you have opportunities for them to easily get some speed boosts and get into the elite speed category, as well as Scarfing them too, which is also an option. So I don't know what else more to say. I don't want to like overanalyze it or anything like that, but that was kind of my thought process with some of those things you guys brought up.
Yeah, I think
I will
that's...
say
No, you can go.
I will say I think I would have liked Dragonite more as a dragon than Salamence on this team. Only because of this gen, because heavy duty boots multi-scale. But I see where Mence has the juices. I mean, that double Intimidate core can be annoying later on.
I would say
and
biggest issue with me is definitely the Magnezone. I don't really see the point. You have Mega Lopunny who kills steals, Nidoqueen who kills steals, Incineroar can kill steals. Like I don't think that's like a pressing need for you. I don't know if you just waited to get the steal for too long and there wasn't enough on the board because I've been there and I've done that, but Registeel's still out there. So
Let me tell you why,
Matt.
Mystery. Here's why. I checked the tapes. I looked at last season, the usage with Mega Lopunny and what people were bringing against it. What you see time and time again is a ton of bulky waters that come out to stop it and a ton of fighting neutral steals. So that's why I picked Magnezone, because it's kind of a mon that can deal with both of them in that category. I'm talking like between those two, like I saw like 8 mons that came in as Lopunny checks that fell in those categories of bulky water or fighting neutral steals. So that's why I really wanted Magnezone. Magnezone was like, I would have really reached to pick that mon. I picked it kind of early because it can deal with the bulky waters. It has that Volt Turn combo with Lopunny, and it can trap some of the steals, like the Corviknights and the Skarmories that come in, stuff like that.
okay, you know what? And that's fair enough. I just think personally, if there's a way to get Registeel on this team, maybe even with Magnezone, like say a lower tier grass and then getting Registeel so that way Magnezone isn't your only steal, maybe that would be cool. But I just have to see it in action. I'm really not sure what to think with the team right now.
That makes sense.
Embarrassed when I run this charged Scarf Corviknight though.
True. And then the last team would be Will. You took Carbone, or no, you took Jamal. Excuse me. Yeah. What are you thinking right now? Because I also have him at 9, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Jamal's team. All things considered, I really don't like the speed. You got like 4 Mons that are basically at 100. And prepping for that just seems really, like, sticks out to me as really easy. The removal is really weak. The setup options, considering those speed tiers, are very limited, as well as the special break-in is a little weaker than what I would have liked. But I don't know. It's a bunch of mods that I don't have like personal experience with, so that probably plays a factor into it. But yeah, overall, I wasn't super high on that, especially with the removal. And it seems like Zapdos will be kind of forced to be a defogger way too often.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also agree. I had Jamal higher, and the thing is though, because this is team solo, I don't know how much of that was bias. If I know no matter what this team looks like, Jamal will still go out and do pretty well. Like,
I mean,
he
you
might
do
not
have to try and separate it because, you know.
Oh no! Yeah, I mean, trust me. If it was just Jamal's coaching, he would have been a lot higher than 8 on mine.
For me, I have him at 9 as well. I'll let you go here in a second, Theo. Yeah, I can completely agree that setup options for this team, it's really just down to like Garchomp, maybe an agility Zapdos, but that's the thing is that the defog isn't great, so Zapdos is probably gonna have to be like Boots defog a lot. It can be offensive with that, but then, you know, do you run Roost? Do you run Heat Wave? That kind of shit. I do like pairing Gren with a bulky water. Vaporeon is like, I don't know, I used to be higher on it. I think it's okay. I think this team really relies on Deoxys defense to like be a big player for this team. When he drafted it, I felt the same way, and then as the draft kept going, I feel stronger about it. If Deoxys D is really good for this team, I could see him being like 8-3, just because Jamal's a good coach anyway. But if that mon doesn't do a lot for him, this could be like potentially like a 6-5 team, and it's very, very reliant on like Chomp to try and sweep games, Gren to weaken everybody down. Yeah.
You know what sticks out to me?
Sure, what you got?
What's common about Garchomp, Megamedi, and Gren as an offensive core? They're all weak to Fairy. His one resist really is just Raj, and I understand that like not many teams drafted offensive fairies, but for having your entire offensive core being checked by one offensive type and having pretty suspect resistances, like what does this team do versus Mega Diancie?
Yeah, I was literally just looking at that. It's like Deoxys defense. You run like mixed Deoxys D, and you just hope it lives.
And probably like Vape, but like still is that like you really have to rely on your blanket sponge defenses to kind of deal with that. And if teams have that option, it's going to be really hard for I think Jamal to play around that, because like whenever he gets any offensive momentum, he could potentially just be instantly checked by one mon taking out his entire offensive core.
Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure.
Watch out for Wigglytuff.
No,
Yeah,
what I was going to say earlier is I 100% agree with what Mr. said, because when I was looking at this team, his defensive, I'll put air quote core, because I wouldn't even call it core, is Deoxys, which is very good defensively. Vaporeon, which I think is... it has a very limited moveset when it comes to being defensive, unless you're trying to get, like, weird like Taylor does with his movesets. It's like 5-6 moves, very limited. So like you know what you're gonna expect when it's there. So and once you know it's there, it's never the easiest thing to get around. But like if you have a good electric or grass type, you can pretty much stop it on switch ends. And then Zapdos, which because he has no good defoggers, is kind of forced to run some form of bulky, unless he wants to go offensive and then waste a slot with defog.
Or bring Comfey a lot with defog, which
bring Comfey, which I think is even worse option for defog.
I just don't know if this is like the Mega Medi team. You know, I'm excited that people actually are drafting it, but I just don't know if this is the team. You know, like what do these Pokemon do for Mega Medi? Like honestly,
Deoxys takes away a jet.
Deoxys pivots. He's got teleport and flip turn.
Yeah, no, I mean offensively. Like I don't know, like his way of killing psychics. It's definitely very reliant on Gren. I don't know. We'll see.
He needs Raj.
I think you guys are also sleeping on the fact that Deoxys can set up, and I'm on that bulky setting up is going to be a problem if you're not going to run Toxic. I've never been a fan of Deoxys D, but I also over-prep for it when I see it, so maybe that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think we're definitely sleeping on that.
Toxic versus this team, though.
I think we're definitely sleeping on that a little bit, but I think the one issue with this team is it is heavily dependent on that Deoxys defense.
Yeah, he needs a lot to run through it. Like it has to teleport. It needs to like soak up hits. You kind of want it to be like your hazard setter so Garchomp can do more and maybe even like AV Raj. It feels like it needs to run like 7 moves every week. Maybe I'm off on that one, but that's just the vibe I get from this team.
9 out of 11 matchups.
Yeah, it's definitely not one of my favorite teams, but I get where you guys are coming from.
Mm-hmm. So then Kyle would be from Will.
Kyle. Let me see. Okay, so you look at Kyle's team. First thing that jumps out at you is like the physical attack is unreal. Like the breakers on the physical side are just like out of this world, which at first made me really love the misty terrain. But then I realized misty terrain doesn't affect half those breakers because they're not grounded. And then like you continue to go on, so there is like a burn risk. I think, in addition to that, I would fear what special breakers would do to this team. Just because the walls don't have reliable recovery on that side. So I think that could be a problem he could run into week after week. And the speed is just like, you got Mega Aerodactyl, but after that, definitely leaves something to be desired. So that's why I ranked it as low as it is. Outside of that, I mean, like I said, the physical attack is unreal. You got mons like Mew, Mega Aerodactyl, Mamoswine that are going to be able to, strike fear in any opponent.
Yeah, screw this team.
I mean, look, offensively, it's crazy.
This team looks so fun.
It looks like a speed tour team. Like he's gonna bring like the same 7 Pokemon, I would say. Because he's gonna bring Type Null. Loves that mon. So I don't know. I don't see it. I have him like I think 7. So I'm a little bit higher just because I think Mamoswine is cool. Mew is obviously great. I'm looking forward to seeing how he uses Age Slash because that's kind of an underutilized mon, like just a little bit. Arrow, yeah, definitely the speed after Arrow takes a shit completely, but he just has a ton of mons that don't have switch-ins. Fucking Zapdos, Mamoswine, and not knowing what a Mew's gonna do to you. Age Slash if it's gonna be physical or special. It's definitely crazy, and he's relying a lot on Feeny to be that backbone with Type Null. So we'll just have to see. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yes, top heavy is all get out.
For sure, yeah. And there's no depth on this team whatsoever. Turtonator is bad.
At least with speed-wise, he's got really good Scarf options, so he can at least kind of succumb to that.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Theo, what were you going to say?
My thing when looking at this, which I don't know how to like word this, and I really could not grasp like something. And there was a couple teams like this in any division. It felt like to me it was lacking something, but I just couldn't put my finger on what. But also when I look at this, there's aspects I love, like Finny with terrain for the type Null, so you can't toxic it for the first couple turns it's out, if you can get that around. And then you can, like, if he wants to do, like, Sword Stance, like Crush Claw, that's the random battle set, but, like, if there's no Ghost type, they don't really have to run much else, they can run another move for Steel type, something. Like, he could do that setup, or he doesn't even go that, he just straight wall set. You can't toxic its first 4 turns, it can stall you out a little bit. Or stuff like that, like, there is Zapdos, which is just gonna be there, and you're gonna have to deal with it. And, like, there's the aspects I like, but something just seems like it's meant to me. I really couldn't figure out what.
Mm-hmm.
No Dark type.
Yeah,
no Dark type.
Definitely is something
that is a big one.
Shameko, beware.
Well, and his Fire Water Grass is Feeny, which is great. And then Turtonator Vileplume, not great. And then Dragon Fairy Steel, if you just want to look at that, is Feeny, once again, great. And then Turtonator. And Aegislash, which is good. I was looking for the steal. Aegislash is good, but Turtonator should not be like 2 of your good typings. I don't know. He's very, very top heavy, so it looks like a fun, not random battles, speed tour team, but I just don't know how in a 11 game season this is gonna go. But Kyle's a good battler, so he'll probably figure it out.
I'll tell you, it was a nightmare to prep for. I'll tell you that. Spoilers, I play Kyle week 1.
Yeah, and won't spoil anything, but saucy. Anyway, who would we go to next? It would probably be, I guess, I put Will, Jake Nova. I guess we've already talked about all these. Oh, it would be me from Will. Yeah, I'd love to hear what Will's got to say about this.
About what?
My team, because you put me at 7, I believe.
Oh, at number 7, right? Let me see.
Already regretting it.
So, speed, crazy, great options. You know, I think after that, the only reason I put it as low as it did, or as I did, was because I think the removal is not that great. And then it just kind of comes down to you're looking at like key types, right? Key types that you're trying to put on a team. And it seems like a lot of the mons you build those holes with are kind of hollow. So, for example, I'm talking about like Gligar as the ground. You just picked up the Diancie, but before that, it was like Absol was your only dark, Mega, and Fairy, which was kind of, and like in addition, there's no poison on the team, which like maybe that's more a personal thing, but I think having a poison type is really important for
It's
all
not
like the
not a type I prioritize. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah. And yeah, maybe that's just a difference. And then I don't know what it is, but like you look at the bottom three, and for like a bottom three that week, I'm kind of used to seeing these like broken top threes. And I look at your top three, and I don't get the sense that it's like, oh, this is what justifies like a really weak bottom three. Other than that, I think the team's really good. Usually, I don't really get your teams in the beginning of the season, and you end up using it really well. So I think that's just a difference in us and the mons that we use.
I definitely, we draft very differently. 100%, I agree. We are not the same. We play each other a lot, but we're not the same type of people. I think Lickitung is decent for a low tier mon. It honestly, I wanted Munchlax. That got taken like round 6 by fucking Robert. Please hang yourself. I really wanted Sylveon on the team, and that got sniped because, you know, Nick doing God's work for Nova. Yeah. Then he told me to get Aromatisse, and then picked it for Nintega. So I really was scrambling at that point. I'm like, fuck, dude, this sucks ass. So I picked Snorlax, like, because I didn't want to stall the fucking draft anymore, and I was like, no, this doesn't really fit all that well. So I needed another... what was I going to say? Another Dark Switch in that is not just Absol. And I was like, Diancie's cool, it gives me another rocker. I agree that the removal is not amazing. I really wanted to use Gligar, and so that's kind of why he's here. That's just a mon I've like gone against but never actually used, so we're just going to try him out. And then my boy Dottler for webs, but he's not a real Pokemon, so yeah, that's all I got.
I'm just over here laughing my ass off.
No, I like...
Theo, you can go.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I have Mystery's team higher than Will does. 2 places, I think I have you at 5th. I like this team, but that, like, I had to agree with him. Removal's not great. You have 3 really good rock setters. Like, there'll almost always be at least 2 of them there, and you're gonna have to figure out which one has it, if not both. So, like, you'll always probably have rocks up. You have great offense with Dragon Bolt Cinderace, minimum. And then you have my favorite of bulky offense, you know, being Suicune. I do think, like, your defense is good, but something just seems a little weird about it for me. I don't know, like, I looked at Ferrothorn, Suicune, Diancie, and I guess Gligar, and something looks off about it. Yeah, I can individually, they're all very good defensively.
I guess no freeze dry resist, because, like, Ferrothorn doesn't resist it.
I mean, Diancie's right there, though.
Resist.
Oh, shit, you're right. I'm terrible with resistances, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but,
I think it's a solid team. It's a little bit...
Freeze dry and fighting.
Fighting's
kind of tough for you.
Oh, too. Yeah, that is. Yeah, for your defense, that is kind of.
Yeah.
Like Gligar's there, but knockoff than Gligar's not really there when it comes to a good fighting type.
Okay. Yeah, Suicune's basically fighting resist.
Yes, Suicune can just be a blanket check. I mean, at least for me, for this team, I really, really like the offensive core, and for once, Mystery actually has a usable defensive core. It's like, Pharaoh, Suicune, Gligar is pretty damn good just for a backbone.
That's
true. Normally, I usually harp on teams not having a grounded poison for T-Spikes, especially with a Suicune, but like when you look at the team overall and what's being... I mean, 2 of the 3 like main defensive mons are like, they're immune to poison, basically. So, yeah. Are you really going to bring T-Spikes just for a Suicune when they also have Magic Bounce as an option? Like, I think the team can definitely get away without having that grounded poison. So I really look forward to see what happens with this offense, and then just like, you also don't have the threat of just instantly being like set up swept. So I think it's a pretty damn good team.
All right, cool. I appreciate it. All right, so then next that would be, we were at what, 7? Theo would be for Will once again.
Oh man.
Look, all right, no, before Will goes here real quick, I just got to say this, because Will's rankings suck dong. Oh my god, why are they so bad? Like, Will, I love you, bro. All right, you're one of my favorite people, but fuck, this sucks ass.
Before he goes, I do want to say, collectively, because I looked, we all had Nintega Carboni Nova and Jamal in our bottom 6.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just be
Other than
friends.
Will, we all had Robert, and other than Jake, we all had Kyle.
Oh, we'll get to why
Will
Will
has-
has Robert at 4, but
Will
yeah.
has
You guys
Robert
are sleeping on
yeah.
Robert. You guys are sleeping on Robert.
First
But
go
for
first go with
Robert,
Theo, not with
TBH.
Robert. Please go with Theo first, and we'll work our way up.
Theo has a good team. And like I just said with Mystery has a good team too. But since I'm the odd one out that has him so low, I'm going to have to harp on the negative things to try to justify my point. But I think they're both good teams. Theo's setup options are absolutely crazy. They're spooky. Outside of that, this team is way too slow. I mean, you got the Superior and the Per Ugly that are kind of like deceivingly above 110, but I mean, like those mons are just kind of shred, especially the Per Ugly. That doesn't even count. You have good bulk, but my problem with the bulk is you're lacking reliable recovery across the board. Like you got Mandibuzz, and that's kind of it. Then it's like things like, let's see, you got like the Rotom and the Galarian Weezing and stuff like that. Mines that can't.
He's got 2
LeBron's
pain
on.
splitters, yeah.
So for me, I look at this team and with the speed and also the what's the word? Maybe not like the lacking durability of the walls a little bit because they don't have reliable recovery. This team screams out to me as like you're going to be desperately searching for setup opportunities all season long. And you have really good setup guys, but that's what it comes down for. And I'm going to get crucified for this, so let me brace myself before I say it. I think Mega Galade's overrated.
Huh?
All right, who's kicking Will from the call? Who's kicking him?
Yo, I'm taking his mod away from him for that.
My time has
Mega-
come.
Mega
Will,
Galade
Will,
has...
Will,
Let me
I
just
want you
say
to
this,
name a
and I'm
mon.
done.
Wait,
Let me
no,
just say this,
Will. Name a mon that's not Spiritomb that isn't 2 AK by Galade in this entire kind of game.
I agree with you. Its move pool is crazy. What I'm going to say is Mega Galade has the Lando Eye syndrome, where on paper it looks absolutely unreal. And then, like, in battles, it doesn't live up to expectations.
How many games have you played against a Gallade? I'm thinking it's none.
Oh my god, give me Galade right now. I'll sweep you 6-0. Oh my god, I'm laughing.
All I'm gonna say, Will,
No.
the only team to beat the Urshifu Lele was the team with the Glade.
And that was the first time a Galade ever won a championship in FBL. That's right, fact check me.
Alright, that's FBL. So?
Yeah, wasn't last season like the first season Torn 1-2, and we're not saying that's overrated?
I don't think Lando Eye has won FBL once, and that's because it was paired with a Mega Latios and a Celesteela.
That's just my hot take. Last season I said Mare Aerodactyl was bad, and it went negative. And this is going to be my hot take this season.
I think that has more merit than Mega Galade being bad, because Galade has so many options that it's really, really tough. You know, if you're expecting like a Swords Dance close combat set and they whip out the, bulk up Drain Punch, it's like, well, what the fuck?
Literally, yeah. It having so many options is part of the reason why I lost to Nick in finals last time. Is there's so many different things I thought he could have been with his last like 2 moves that I overthought it, and then I
It
switched
makes
out
you
with the
make
Lele and it cost me
decisions,
the match.
and like that's the worst thing is putting your opponent in a position where they have to make like an actual decision and not just play within the flow. Because if you're just playing within the flow, you're just kind of playing the game, whatever. It's probably gonna go your way. But when you have to like sit down and be like, fuck, I don't know what this thing's gonna do to me, and you make that wrong move, he clicks sub, all right, it's fucking over. Like you just lost.
Yeah.
You know what Will's sleeping on? He was saying that these walls don't have reliable recovery. There's a Wish Passer right there as the first pick.
True.
I mean, walls don't need reliable
You run a
recovery.
wish as Glade.
That's a good
I
set.
mean, walls don't need reliable recovery as much as people think. I remember Chimpact 1 GBA with not a single recovery move on his team.
I mean, also with those walls, as we said before, too, have pain split, but also like rest on most of those is also a very reliable option.
Like Mudsdale is
Also-
definitely good.
I will say, which
Yeah.
is the issue I've been thinking about while building for week 1 and just looking at it, is a lot slower than I like. I mean, it's slow. I have like 4 Pokemon that I at least try to bring. Like we'll see if Superior actually can make it to some builds that like have decent speed. But then there's 5 that I expect to come that I do have the issue with them being slow.
I wish
Everyone-
I could just drop a
everyone's-
Pokemon on your team. I wish I could just throw Greninja on this team. Like, just take away Perugly and put Greninja, because I feel like that gives you speed. And I don't know, maybe I'm just off on this one, but I feel like that could work.
Everyone
Good work,
search your
except for the
calendar. Everyone circle your calendars for week 10 because that's when Will's about to get smacked up by Mega Glade.
that you know that Glade's gonna be there.
Let me set the record straight. I never said Mega Glade was bad. I said it was overrated.
Wait, Mr. said Glade's gonna be there. Like I would not forget to any of this.
Hey Will, is Jerry Rice overrated too?
Who's Jerry Rice?
Yeah, I got no comment.
Yo guys, Michael Jordan's overrated, bro.
Whoa. Take it easy.
Well, that's just true.
Take it easy.
Jor Bum didn't do anything.
yeah.
He's like Jake Mickey here in the call, you know.
Okay, bud. I don't see you with your ring.
No, we don't gotta hate. What the fuck? All right.
But basically, let's get back to reality.
Yeah, definitely. We can come back a bit.
I think Theo's team is good. It's like almost carbon copy of what my team was last season. Just a little.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't gonna say it.
No, you just said while building
I
it. I knew it was building it. When I made this rough draft with Mystery, I threw Glade on there. I can't remember. Originally, I had Kira, and then Robert had to take that round too, like 3 picks before me. And then
Like,
I think my team got better from it. But
If you can't beat them, join them, huh?
it literally, and like I had the Mudskill on there, and then we were like, oh, I need a pretty good fighting resist, and then Weezinglar was just right there, and then I was like, oh, there we go. Like, and then we have a Rotom form too. I don't know. It just the team you built last season, it worked. Not like that. Like they just all went well together, and then while building, it happened. I wasn't intentionally taking your same mods. It just happened.
Yeah, I know.
I was like,
It is
well,
just funny.
here's Nick's team. Here it is.
No, I mean, look, I think personally your top 9 is up there as one of the better, you know, like you have depth-ish. You know, your bottom 2 probably will never come to games, maybe the Hippo if you're trying to be funny, but I think you have options. It's a solid team. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
That Hippo's coming versus Nova.
I'm sad people in this division are actually good at Pokemon because I can't bring the Hippo. Actually, I mean, I guess I could.
I don't know. One just said Galade's overrated, so.
True.
Fair. Dude,
Dude, you can bring the Hippo against me. That's fine.
hey, wait, what are you, my week 10?
Hey, maybe
On the off
Theo's
chance-
9-0, like already locked
I'm
into the
saying,
number
on
1
the
seed.
off chance I'm doing really
No,
well,
no.
let me tell you that,
Galade's
that
like
Hippo...
23-1.
Mystery, let's flip that around. He's gonna be 0-9 and already out of
True, you know.
Same bitch, different number. I'd do the same thing.
Well, I guess
If I'm already getting relegated,
we
might
could
as well.
probably move on to the next team. That would be James McLaurin from me.
Both
Damn,
his
just
real
name
name
drop
are-
the why don't you shit.
His name is all over the fucking doc for NCL, so I don't want to hear it. He's doxed himself already.
Okay, I didn't know that.
For me, I think this is
unintended.
one of the better teams. I put myself one ahead of him just to, you know, fuck with James a little bit. Plus, you know, whatever. It's they're pretty close. Sizzle or Coco is always a good combo. He has Buzzwole, which is fucking annoying. Double Bug, I'm usually not a fan of at all, but like these are 2 of the better bug types in the whole league. Crocodile is an amazing mon. Milotic as your 5th best Pokemon, pretty solid. I'd say that's pretty good. I'm not huge on Azelf, but I know he loves this Pokemon, so look forward to seeing how he uses it. Roserade is also cool. I never see it get drafted, so again, have to watch out. Now this next mon, all right, James, I'm talking to you right now. This mon fucking sucks. It's terrible. Flygon is awful. Please drop this for something else. I would rather you have the fucking Hippopotas than this stupid piece of shit. Flygon sucks.
Wait a minute.
No.
Why do you make Hippopotas sound bad?
Okay. It's better than Flygon. I mean, I don't.
In reality, I think Flygon does work on the team. I think Mystery's hating a little bit.
I'm definitely hating.
He just doesn't like
100%.
Ace.
Moltres, by the way, Moltres says your 9th best Pokemon. Really solid. Really, really solid.
Yeah, that's
work.
awesome. That's awesome.
And then he's got 2 uses after.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, Thievel's coming to a game with that Unburden. It's coming. Don't worry. And then Plusle's there's the GOAT. Yeah, I think it's a really cool team. He's a little flying weak. Like, it's very reliant on Coco to take flying moves. We'll have to see. I'm hesitant, but I think this is probably the best James draft, like straight out of the draft. Normally dude drops like 6 Pokemon within the first 2 weeks, so yeah, solid.
I mean, we'll be doing that review in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, don't worry. we'll be going after some transactions here soon, so yeah. I mean, if you guys have anything to say, I think it's a cool team.
I pretty much hit most of the points, yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, same. I just enjoy looking at this team.
I'll say what the first thought that came to me is that this is a team with Eon and Ace had a baby.
I gotta agree to that. Yeah. Eo would probably never use a Mega Sizzler, but yeah.
I love this team. I think this team's really good, and I think the one quick thing I would add would be that the removal is unreal. Like, you can just not keep hazards up against this team between like Coco, Caesar, Moltres. What was the other one? He had a fourth. Flygon. They like all get defogged. I wish the Dragon was better. I agree, because it would make the Dragon Fairy Steel unreal. But I really like this team.
The one thing, just the one glaring thing on this team that I can't stand is Yasuo. If you replaced it with like Uxie or another like a bulky psychic, I feel like this team.
I also think like, to me it wasn't glaring, but like when I looked at it, it just stood out and like not in a good way.
I think Azelf, Roserade, Flygon, that's the three where you like. He's got so many options that if something doesn't work out, he can still go get like a top tier Pokemon. I think he has points for trades. Like from,
you know what he could do? You get rid of Flygon and Moltres for Dragonite.
Oh, that'd be nice.
And then some other fire type.
Just some low for like Torracat. Oh, I know, Robert, that's Torracat.
Okay. Oh, was Magmortar drafted?
No, I don't believe so.
Probably not.
That might be in the range.
I mean, James definitely will be listening to this, so an option. I mean, it's something to think about. Yeah, I would say definitely one of the better teams, though, for sure. All right, and then who do we got next? It would probably be... Okay. Will.
What's up?
Why is Robert number 4?
Wait, I got him at number 3. Oh, no, I don't even know my own list. You're right. Yo, you guys are sleeping on Robert. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, my fucking
Honestly, I think you guys are letting personal bias into your rankings. You look at this team. The bulk is crazy. This looks like the most annoying team to break in D1. Additionally, Hazard Setter's crazy. To have Clefable, Gliscor, Jirachi, and Infernape that can all get rocks up, that's lit. And I've heard the criticisms of, like, it's not a deep team. But I don't know. You look around the league, and it's like everybody's got a team of 8 Pokemon and 3 Scrubs. And at that, 2 of his 3 Scrubs are kind of like 2 of the most sought-after low tiers in Marini and Munchlax. He's got a really good Dragon Fairy Steel in Clefable, Kyurem, and Jirachi. He's got another very solid Fire Water Grass in the Zarude, Infernape, and Blastoise. I think that the issue would kind of be like where the offense is coming from, especially since like Zarude and Infernape can get kind of predictable with the sets that they run and when you scarf them and stuff like that. But I don't know.
No. I'm stopping you right there. You just said Infernape's predictable. No, I can't. Hey. SD, Nasty Plot, Scarf, Specs, Bandit. You can run defensive in front of a slack off. Well,
thank you. Finally, someone says it. I bring that up and people are like laughing at me.
Infernape is like one of the least predictable mons I can think of that's an offensive threat because it can hit you from any side.
I was talking about it more so from the coverage. Like, it's coming with firefighting. And, like, you have, like, your coverage grass or something like that. Not so much, like, the item being
I was going to say Gong Shot, Thunder Punch, Grass Knot, U-Turn, Stone Edge.
But anyways, I know we kind of rip on Robert for, like, not really being able to pull off the offense well. What I see is a team that looks, like, way more comfortable in his hands. And, like, he doesn't have to lose Infernape in the slew of like offensive mons that he kind of forced on his team last year. I think this is a really solid team, super hard to break, great pivoting options. I think if just from a team perspective, this is one of the best.
I just disagree. I think Rotom,
I will respectfully disagree.
Rotom, Marini, Torracat don't do a ton for him. His removal isn't amazing. Like Blastoise is good. Gliscor doesn't really want to run Defog. Like, it would prefer to run, Roost, Earthquake, Knockoff, U-Turn, those kind of moves. It can run Defog, obviously, but it's like it doesn't really want to.
I would buy more into what Will's saying if there was a better T-Spiker.
Yeah.
Marini. I've never seen a team thrive with a Mega Blastoise. That's a I like Blastoise, and I love Mega Blastoise. but as the bulky water, I just can't see it work on the scene.
He's got 2 wish passers, so like I can see it. I can understand what Will's saying, even that I think I have one of the lowest rankings on Robert's team. I just think for me it was just like the real lack of like star power. I think as a team comp it probably works, but while the bulk's there, I do still feel like this team can be overwhelmed.
Yeah, like I don't know. His team definitely has big things you have to watch out for because I have to build for week 1, and just like how I'm bringing special delayed Robert, and how you should probably not bring the infinite Robert because it's really not good against my team. It's just like I don't know. Like he has like the bulk is there, but I don't know. I just think there's I don't know. Like he has good bulk. I'm not sure how I should word this, but like it seems very breakable, even though it looks really good. I don't know.
I think
like,
if you could find a way to break one of the top 3, there's definitely a way through the rest of this team.
Like if you break one of those top 3, the other 2 start to struggle.
I said it once, I'll say it again. Mega Diancie.
That's like every team. That is like every
It
team.
is really every team, but I mean, Jirachi, kind of, I guess. I mean,
Jirachi
is
like
I've never
it gets
like,
earth power, but I don't think
like
you can one-shot it.
I've just never seen Jirachi as a threat. Like it's always like people always say, "Oh, it's such a good mod. It's such a good mod." Really, I've never seen it. I've never seen it put in like the work that people think it's going to put in.
I saw Jirachi
Like,
do 51% to a Zarud with U-turn. That's all I got. That's all I gotta say.
I just like the only time I've ever seen Jirachi work is when it's scarfed and it's iron and flinching, and that's just like if you have to do that, you're not a good player. I've always said that, and I always will say that.
Yeah. So we could probably move on to the next team.
Hey, I take it back. Ant canceled out because he also had the Toga Kiss, so both double flinches they canceled out. He was good fight.
To be honest, I don't even think Ant used him that way last season. He did.
Actually, he didn't that much. At least Toga Kiss he didn't.
I think we only have 2 teams to talk about in D1, left. It would be Harris, which me and Will have at number 3. I'll take it for a little bit, and then I'll let Will kind of finish off if I, miss anything. I think Harris's team just doesn't have any depth whatsoever. The first 6 are really, really good. Cobalion is there. But after that, it's just really fucking bad. Like Stunfisk, Clefairy, just very situational Pokemon. But trust me, that top 6 is amazing. I totally get it. Who did he drop a Mungus for? It was
Galarian
Slowking, and that's definitely a better Pokemon. Wait, so he has Slowking and Slowbro?
Yeah, the Slow. Oh yeah.
Oh,
He's allowed because Galarian isn't the same species technically.
yeah, no, for sure. He's a little dark weak. I mean, I understand he has a Mawile and a Hydreigon, but I feel like dark with. I guess.
Switching in. And
He only has one weakness to dark. That's the thing.
No, but knockoff looks spammable on this team a little bit, just a little bit. All right, I don't think this is the best Harris team I've ever seen. It's super top heavy. Okay, but Cobalion is gonna switch in and then say it's a Mega Gallade. What the fuck is going on after that?
I don't think I've ever seen a Harris team that is top heavy though.
I suppose, but
Yeah.
I think his team even last season had a little bit more depth. I think he had 8 solid Pokemon because Rhyperior, I believe, was his 8th best. I don't know. Stunfisk is bad.
Yeah, that poor.
And that's the thing too, is he's very electric weak. It's very reliant on Rotom because Stunfisk is not going to
electric
be
weak.
your most.
Stunfisk is right there. You take that back.
Yeah. Yeah,
I agree with
I don't
the
know. And look, I still have it top 3, but I don't it's just because of how crazy the top 3 especially are.
I don't think you could find a team that autopilots better than this one.
That's true.
All right.
It's regen Harris, so he's gonna thrive with it. I thought it was better before the changes. Honestly, I don't know why I don't know.
I like the Mungus more, but
yeah, I mean he had a Mungus before in season 7, I think, and he dropped it for Rose Raid. Yeah, and I'm like, bro, you just made your team worse. You were unbeaten with this team before. I think I beat him week 6. That was his first loss. And then after he dropped the Mungus, he just completely downward spiraled.
I will say one other thing though for type matchups is if you ignore his bottom 3, he does not have a single negative type relationship. Every single type he has a positive resistance to. If you ignore the bottom 3. Now, that is including Stunfisk, so that's maybe an outlier to that fact, but he's got his bases covered. Now, that was before he got rid of Slowking, but we're talking about the draft. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
it's like I can't get. There's a point where I know we were big on like versatility and whatnot, but just with how much that this team doesn't even need to be that versatile, and it can be, but just how well the top 6, top 7 just absolutely autopilot. It's going to be really hard for teams to just like be able to get around that.
And then
I
Will,
agree.
I was gonna say it's your time to shine.
Yeah, if we were factoring in the coach, it would be really hard to put, this team outside of the top 2 for me. But, what it really comes down to putting at 3 is all about the depth for me. The pivoting's unreal. This is going to be a really disrespectful comparison, but it just reminds me a lot of Matt E's team last season that he dropped, where it was like incredibly top heavy and had like the Mega Mawile, the Torrentee, and all that. But it's like you're only preparing for 7 Mons all season, and he like flopped because of it. I think just at its value, because that depth is really only like 7 Pokemon. I can't really put this team higher than 3.
See,
that team also lost to a regular Lycanroc, so.
See, my thing with teams is if you can have exceptional pivoting like this, ignoring the coach, but like with a good coach, it makes it even better. You can almost always have the momentum, and out of these top 7, like ignoring he dropped a Mungus for Slowking, which gives him another pivot out of those 7. One of them is Mawile, which if he pivots correctly into the Mawile, which it's Harris, so he probably will, it's getting a kill. And then he switches out, gets back the momentum, and then just does it again. With exceptional momentum and stuff like that. And then he has the regen core, so those 3 are not losing health unless you're chunking them. Like if you're getting that prediction correct. I don't know. I just think this team is very good. Like the bottom 4 will really hurt it, but sure, you prep for less things, but it's still hard for you to prep for those 7.
Why is this the only Mega Manetric team or like weak team ever? Like, tell me I'm kind of wrong, because like it's only Amoonguss. But then Overheat. I guess it's Rotom Heat.
I say it does look bad against Mega Manetric, but like
I don't know. How much is Stunfisk taken from a fucking Overheat? I don't know.
Like
less than
30.
half. Yeah.
30?
It's
Really?
got good spit. It's got good
I
spit.
think you're okay. I definitely think you're
That's
underestimating
109.99 gold.
Yeah, I definitely think you're underestimating Stunfisk. Like, it's an awful mon. Like, it is usable versus some matches.
I think you guys are just defending it because it's Harris. I'm going to be completely honest.
I think it comes
I've
once
never
or twice.
I've never seen regular Stunfisk as like this awful mon. Granted, I never drafted as my ground type, but like if I needed a mon like that, I guess I'd take it as draft. Galarian Stunfisk was awful.
Hey, yeah. Also, it's not that bad. There is a coach in a different division whose whole team almost gets swept by a Stunfisk.
Hey, we'll get to that.
We will not name names, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, I just think the depth isn't there. And me and Will agree on that. It's if he runs into like one bad Pokemon for his team, which I couldn't tell you. Look, his team's really good on the top 6, 7-ish, 8. If there's just one playoff mon that runs into him, I don't know. That's all I'm worried about.
There's one that comes to mind, but it's coming from the same team. Not Mega Giants anymore.
There's one that comes to mind, but that team's not make playoffs.
It's especially offensive Victini.
Come on, quit outing me, Jake. Come on, quit doing this.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was thinking Dragon Ball, to be honest.
Oh, you know what?
That's her too.
No,
Yeah,
I don't see it at all.
Porygon.
I don't see that at all. No.
Porygon right there.
Yeah, no. That's not a threat.
Porygon right there. All right, let's go then to. I think there's only one team to talk about.
It is our boy.
It's your boy Nick, who 2 people had as number 1.
Awful team. It's just awful.
Yeah, I don't know why it's that high.
It's why I keep referring to the Mons on this team.
Jake literally outed half my team during this. It's like, oh yeah, Corviknight, oh Diancie, oh Victini, yeah.
I'm sorry, like a 5th grader could not see that.
Dude, when Nick sent me his team plan, all right, and it had Diancie, Como, Victini, Corviknight, I said, yeah, get fucked. You're not getting all 4 of these, and then he did. So
let's explain it to the people who didn't watch the drafts, I guess.
True.
I drafted Necrozma because I had the same idea as Mystery. I said, there's no way this is coming back to you. And Will's in my DMs the second I drafted Necrozma. He's like, yo, bro, trade me Necrozma right now. I'm like, I said, I draft Victini right now for me, draft Slumber for me the next time. Because we were going up. and then downward he would have taken me Swampert. And I'm thinking, if I get those two, I'll be set because Komodo has a chance to come back to me, and then boom, Komodo comes back to me. So I pulled the trade. I got it, and we're sitting pretty with a team. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean, look, up and down. I think you have depth-ish. I think, like, Ambipom, it's not going to come to a ton of games, but at least it has, like, you know, maybe 2 to 3, like, matchups where it's kind of cool. Gorgas is a mon I really want to try. I feel like there's something there. Umbreon's pretty cool. I think Toxtricity's, like, going to have to be something for this team to, like, be a finals team. I don't know. It's a tough mon to switch into. So, you know, we'll see. Walrein sucks, and Chimeco is your boy. So, yeah. That's all I got.
Chimeco, look, I'm just saying, the one team that didn't draft the Dark type this season, I couldn't bring Chimeco, so that's upsetting.
Who didn't draft the Dark? It was
Kyle.
That's right. Pain.
That's like how we won.
Pain.
Just you're lucky you got a Dark type this season.
Will, you also had Nick at number 1, so what did you see?
No, I think this team is busted. The Dragon Fairy Steel is unreal. The Firewater Grass is good and supportive. The defense just looks very tough to break. And you see like a lot of versatility up and down it. If there was like any weakness about this team, I'd say it's the removal. The removal's kind of shaky. It's kind of just Corv, but I mean, even just having the threat of a Mega Diancie Magic Bounce, like, definitely plays enough mind games with your opponent to make that removal look a little better.
I know Will's still newish to the format. He forgot that Chimeco gets too far.
Yeah, my bad.
True. No, definitely the removal was like the main part of it, because like his rockers are pretty decent. Diancie's not amazing, but it's like a solid rocker. Como's good. Swampert's fucking amazing. Is it after that? I mean,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess
I will-
3 isn't like perfect, but you know, it's solid in a boots.
it's usually what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say in Will's rankings, he had a very I don't know the word. He had a very strong opinion about defoggers and rapid spinners as removal. We do have heavy duty boots in this gen, so I don't think it's as important. So like, let's say people, oh yeah, I'm gonna set up rocks for his 15. I could easily just run heavy duty boots that week.
True.
It's like, yeah, because like I'm not gonna risk a knockoff on my 15 because it's weak to dark.
That's also like the only Rock Week mod on this team, ignoring Walrein.
And how many matches is Walrein going to?
Right.
Maybe one.
All of them.
Maybe. Spoilers, didn't come week 1.
Okay, 10 games. If I don't see Walrein come to at least 7 games, I'm going to be upset. Anyway.
It's coming to week 11 after I'm already clinched in playoffs versus you.
Fuck off.
You lose it, you get belly drums.
All right, correct me if I'm wrong, okay? But is this not one of like the better D1 overall drafts? Like I know that there's some, you know, bad ones in Nintega that, you know, kind of stand out, but like I feel like a lot of these are really solid. Like, you know, a lot of them are different. Like there's like the Kyles or like the depth teams of, I don't even know. I mean, there's not a ton of depth here. I guess Carboni, kind of Nick.
Who?
But like, I don't know. I think this D1 is pretty solid for their drafts.
Yeah, I find it funny because like most of this podcast, we've been talking about most of the negatives of the teams. We're like, this is also probably the most solid D1 draft we've ever seen.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
and it's just I think this is a good overall draft. I'm you know, proud of D1, But then we're gonna go to D2. All right, now
hey, D2 draft is pretty good.
I don't think it's bad. We all do have. All right, I gotta warm myself up. Hold on, I'm taking off the shirt real quick. All right.
Ew, put it back up.
No, it's time.
No,
it's time.
we should go top off.
No, we should not. We should not go top down. We are going to go from 12, and we're going to go up. Now, at number 12, at number fucking 12, across the board, James Guns. Things you absolutely love to see. This team sucks, but Pillow Swine, please, someone save him. Trade for Pillow Swine. Do not let him die. He deserves better than this. Come on.
I'm gonna cut mystery off before he gets a little too excited.
Server mute him.
Overall, I mean, it's still going to go on his recording. Yo, come on.
There.
Across the board, this is the worst team. I don't think there's any debate with that. I don't think Roselli should ever be the third best mon on your team.
Yep.
It's just like, he has Zardex, and then like it almost seemed like he was forced to draft removal and leave him in Serena. The Ursula makes no sense. The team's like, even it has debt, but like it's not debt he wants. It just seems like he drafted a bunch of mons we shit on, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna prove you guys wrong." And
My thing is, because, okay, I'm not trying to be a mean person. I'm not a mean person. Like, I'm very nice. And, like,
damn, why?
Fuck you.
no, like, okay, individually, these are all, like, pretty decent mods. There's just nothing that, like, makes them go together well. Like, nothing...
I've always been a
ties
big
them really
believer that
well.
Celesteela Charizard X do not work together. Celesteela is a steel that does not set up rocks and a flying that does not defog. So what the fuck does it do for Charizard other than be off the ground?
Be off the ground, dumbass.
I mean, okay, that's fair.
there
Look, the best thing I could say about this team is that his ground switch-ins are great for Charizard. Like Celesteela, Cresselia, Weezing with Levitate. I don't know, but the rest of it just sucks. It's not good.
Can we
does he
talk
have-
about the speed tiers real quick?
Oh, the speed is awful.
Oh my god!
Oh my
this
god.
dude-
You want to talk
it's
about
awful.
Crest for a sec? That's his second fastest mon.
Wow.
I don't understand. I really, this team sucks. I could not be happier personally, but I think there's a lot he could do to salvage this. Turning Quagsire, Cursula, excuse me, Xurkitree, probably even Crest. Like, there's a lot of points to be had here, so I think there's something he could do. At this point, just go top heavy. Like, have 3 1-pointers and just go with 8 good Pokemon, because this is not it. Yeah.
Just get like a Seismitoad or something, and I'll like this team so much more.
Oh, and some fucking speed.
Yeah.
Like, he picked a slow electric. This is, like, quite literally the worst team to have a slow electric on. There's just no point to it.
It's
don't
gonna
know.
be Scarf like 8 times out of 11.
If anyone else wants to say anything, it would probably just be like Will, because I think he's the one who hasn't said anything about this team. We could probably just move on.
You guys covered it.
Well, here, I can read my notes word for word. Wow,
Okay.
how awful. Okay.
Thank you, Theo. Next
Yeah,
up,
we're
we
done.
do have a little bit of discrepancy, but Tay would take the 11th spot. So, we'll have Jake. We'll have you start with it. What do you see in this
All
team?
right, so we'll transition from a lack of quality of rockers to a lack of quantity of rockers. It's just Chomp.
Yep.
That's the only mon on here, and I'm okay with like the top 5. I think that's a really solid 4 mons, and you can say a little bit about like the support. And Talion as the water though on the team is we harped on this enough last season. We'll definitely be consistent on that point. I definitely like the offense. It's just the bulk is pretty suspect, and just having only Garchomp as a rocker is just kind of like an auto no.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fairy resists outside of Zard.
Is
Yeah,
it just
I-
me, or is there? Oh, I'll let you go here in a second, Theo. But like, is there not a ton of synergy with Charizard Y? Like, I guess Solar Blade Kartana and like Weather. Wait, Raikou gets Weather Ball, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah. So I guess kind of that. But I don't know. It feels a little like forced. It's definitely better than the Scizor that he had like right at the start of the draft. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know.
I'd say the
alright.
sun. I'd say the sun hurts this team more than it helps it.
Okay.
With like the Kartana and the Inteleon getting its moves nerfed, and
Does Moonlight
Wait.
do more or
Wait.
less than Sun?
More.
Less. Oh
No, isn't it more?
No, it's more. It's more.
no, morning sun does more.
I think they both
No,
do
it's
more.
Moonlight. It's Moonlight
I think
too,
they
which
both
is
do.
weird.
It is. Oh, okay.
Moonlight, yeah, it's
Um,
weird. I don't understand it. But it does.
Will, did you say that fire doesn't help Kartana in the sun?
what?
Did you say fire doesn't help Kartana in the sun?
No, I just said I thought the sun hurts this team more than it helps it.
I think that's the
Moonlight
hottest take Will has said
Kartana?
thus far.
Oh, I get it. Hottest take because he's talking about sun.
Yup.
I
hate it.
I'm
No, okay.
very clever. That's why I left singles.
Well, I don't know. My one thing with the team is, I don't know. It just, I didn't like. Yeah, there's a lot of parts I didn't like. I personally don't like. There's almost no bulk. It's what, Umbreon and I guess Hitmontop if you want that to be bulky.
Go.
Togekiss a little bit, but not like great bulk options.
Fizdef Kartana is right there.
Best
I don't think
check in
they-
the game.
Kick
That
him,
is
kick
the
him,
best
Kick
Zygarde
him.
check in the game, 100%.
kick him. out.
No, come on. All right, I'm pulling up the calcs right now. I really will. I will.
No,
Hey,
yeah,
overall,
only
I
Rocket
don't-
Bergkamp's really bad too.
I don't hate the team, but I don't. None of them on Smash Ball.
I don't hate the team, but I hate the team.
I just realized he has a Grumpig. Never mind. This is the worst team in the league. Oh my god. Fuck Grumpig. This mon sucks. Fuck. Anyway.
But that's his ice resist.
Freeze dry switching to Grumpig.
Literally goes from Teleon to Grumpig.
His literal freeze dry switching.
He's got
is
Perugly
Grumpig.
too. What do you mean? Thick fat. Yo, he's got the thick fat boys. Hold up. This is kind of nice.
You
was a
like
good
those
ice
kind of thick.
But I'm gonna say it just to trigger Tay if he watches this. This is another break the rust type of season for Tay
Oh
because he's
god.
been in that mode for like 3 seasons. I keep saying like Tay can win with this type of team. It's just is he gonna commit? Is he going to win?
Yeah, we definitely have
Oh,
to
wait.
see it before we can believe it.
I was like,
100%.
going back to the fact that he doesn't have good ice resists. Only like 3 people have an actual ice type, so
True.
I guess
No,
that
Tate's
kind of
built
works.
different. I'm a
Again,
Tate
it works.
believer. I don't care what you guys say. I'm on the
Works out
Tate
in Tate's
bandwagon.
favor.
Where did you have him ranked? Oh no.
You also put Skylar as the second best team in BGC.
Oh,
True.
we'll put him at 8. We'll put him at 8.
Skylar has the second best singles team in VGC.
That's actually one of my key points in the power rankings, that she's got a very good singles team, just in the wrong format. But we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, we will. So the next 2 is Hero. Me and Will once again are ranking together. For Hero, look, I don't think it's bad. I just hate that Zorora's on this team again, because if I have to see Thunder Punch Zorora one more time, I swear to God, dude, I'll make sure that this motherfucker has to talk through text-to-speech just because I, like, give him an aneurysm. All right? I cannot see Thunder Punch Zorora one more time. It just cannot happen.
Bro, the Iron Fist boost.
Heroes. Look, I draft Heroes team. Most of you guys know. Like I have proven with him first. He loves Aurora. It's like his go-to mon. He had
right.
He had like 12 kills in 3 games one season, so he's very attached to it. I saw Dragon Ball there early. I couldn't let it sit there any longer. And then Rillaboom fell. I definitely think the overall first version of the team was better, but this one has more star power.
Here's my problem with Heroes team. You have 2 Mons with absolutely elite speed in Zeraora and Dragapult. They're only a point away. So think about prepping for that. They're elite speed, but they're basically the same speed at 142, 143. And then you drop all the way to 85 with Rillaboom.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's like the biggest speed drop known to man. And then
I didn't even
additionally,
realize that.
the hazard game on this team
bad.
like gives me anxiety. You have Skarmory, and you're like, Skarmory, that's great setter, great remover. After that, you have nothing. Like you got Hitmonchan for a spinner, you got
Camera.
Mega Camerupt for a rocker. Like Skarmory is gonna have to do.
I
the
love
same
Camera.
thing.
I wanted to love this team
You
so
have
much.
never faced a You have never faced a Mega Camel. You said that's not a good rocker.
I have faced a Mega Cama.
Monster.
Monster.
Oh, never mind. You didn't bring it up.
You mean Monster's Trick Room team in singles? Okay.
That shit was clean. What do you mean?
Yeah, 1 in 10.
It went 4 and 7, and one of them was a forfeit win.
Pivoting's really good on his team, though. I will say Heroes Pivoting is very good.
I guess. I don't like this team. I
don't.
mean, Lickitung being your worst Pokemon is cool. I don't see the point of the Abomasnow. I think
No.
Aromatisse and Vaporeon don't do enough differently to warrant it.
Trick Room.
Sure. Muck is
Trick
cool.
Room with a Dragapult and a Zeraora.
He just needs some speed. Like, drop the Abomasnow and the Camerupt and, like, go get a...
What do you mean?
Okay.
He needs hail for this team to work.
I don't even know who's on the board. I really don't. Just get somebody. Please get someone that's not Camerupt and Abomasnow and, like, Hitmonchan. I don't know. This team has potential, though. It definitely, like, with a few changes, it could be in the 6-ish range. Yeah, that's all I got. Anyone else want to say anything, or are we good to keep going?
Go.
pretty much the same.
All right, so then we would go to blue, which 3 of us have that, being Nick, Will, and myself. Nick, how about you start us off on this one?
Okay. I'm not a fan of weather at all. And there was another weather team drafted 10 times better than this team. It's just like your abuser is Kabutops. Granted, Dragovich is great. I've never seen Diancie Jirachi reign.
No, I've never seen a team like this. 100%.
What's his water resist? It's not Tangrowth on this team.
Helios. Dragovich.
Sliggoo.
Sliggoo. He's good.
No, he's not.
That's
He's losing.
like his best type matchup for the entire team.
I was gonna say, other than fire, like that's,
Well,
I don't know.
he's really gonna switch into Dragovich to waters. He's gonna risk Scaldberg.
Your issue should
Yeah.
be his ghost resist being Helios.
That's he.
I mean,
He's got a haunter.
Maybe.
The goat.
Haunter! Yeah!
Dragapult looking kind of nice.
Yeah, Hero's gonna get a win. Let's go.
but just like it's like you drafted Pseudo Rain with Diancie. Like
This looks like a really
wanted
bad
Gamora-
Tristan team.
Well,
Isn't
I
every
think
Tristan team a really bad Tristan team?
Oh, got him.
as apparently the residential blue appreciator, I think I understand his mindset. And what happened is he got a really good top four and then did not know what to do after that. It's just like, well, I always default the rain. Why stop now?
Yeah, I don't
really
think this
are.
needed to be a rain team.
What do you mean top four? That Pelipper was drafted like round 2.
He could keep his top 6 and then like redo the bottom. Like, I guess just it would be the next 2 because you'd also get points back from Kabutops, right? Like, it would be he's normally
Yeah,
what,
this is a
7?
rain abuser.
And then that would go to 9, I think. I forget the points, honestly.
I just feel like the whole team would be better if you drop Pelipper, Kabutops, Gorbis.
Yeah, but Gorbis isn't doing enough. Like, there's no one pointer that's gonna help you more than Gorbis, or like that's available probably.
No, that's a 2-point mon because it's Swiftfoot.
Ugh. Oh, true. Okay, you know what?
Yeah, he paid weather tax for a mon he's not gonna bring.
Are you sure? That thing better be here week 1.
Overall,
Smash.
I do. I think if he drops the rain, he's got a interesting team. I don't know about good, but interesting. So yeah.
He definitely has tools to work with.
Will, anything you want to say? Otherwise, we probably just keep going as well.
Hazard removal's bad. It's just Pelipper and Kabutops and Magic Bounce.
Okay, fair
What does
enough.
Magic Bounce count as
Can we stop harping on hazards, please?
Hey man, it's still
I
part
would,
of the game.
I would only harp on hazards if it's like the team.
Oh, I
has,
forgot
like,
who
Ocarina
comes
or
up
something.
next now. Will with Taylor in number 8. I heavily disagree. I really heavily disagree. I need to hear why.
Well, let me start by saying I think he got great defensive value in his 4 through 9. I think he did really good with how he drafted kind of those mid tiers. And yeah, it looks super hard to break. The offense is just so shallow, in my opinion. You got like Lottie and Keldeo and like, yeah, I mean,
And
they
Drill,
can't
that's all we
overlap.
need.
They can't overlap just being kind of like the special attackers, but yeah, I mean, Taylor's creative enough to make it work. It's just, I don't know. I look at this team and I kind of struggle to see where the offense is coming from, especially when opponents kind of only have to prepare for like 3 mons offensively.
But here's the counterpoint. You don't see the offense. Have you seen Taylor's stats? He finds offense in
Alright.
everything.
That's true.
I don't think you want to make that argument.
I will say the team is, a little more defensive than what we, than what we think. Venusaur can be offensive. Keldeo can run on both sides. If you're feeling it.
Well,
Latios
Secret
can be
Sword
on
hits
both
defense. Psyshock with Latios. Like, he has ways to hit on the physical side.
Yeah, Drill is an amazing breaker. Incineroar can be offensive. Jellicent can run Scarf Water Spout. Electros has four move syndrome out the ass. I personally really like Taylor's team. It's something I would draft. I would not draft a Mega Venusaur though. I'd probably have a more offensive on.
I mean,
that's about it for me.
This team is just a Gen 6 balanced team with an Incineroar.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen this team comp like 100 times. Like, it's solid and true.
Oh, who's the
and
motherfucker that ran Chansey, Bisharp, Venusaur, Heatran? What was that dude's name? Oh, fuck.
ABR?
Yeah. Wait, no, not ABR. No, the ladder
Aberforth.
loser.
Aberforth.
Mr. CD.
Oh, Aberforth.
Yeah. I played that dude like 45 times with that fucking team.
No, what's the biggest thing for me? I know we're not supposed to like take in the team comp, but this looks like the most tried and true standard balance I've ever seen. And then Taylor is going to throw 57 wrenches into a washing machine. And it's going to be one hell of a season to see what fucks up.
Oh
Dude,
yeah, week one spoiler. Week one spoilers.
Yeah.
That Bronzong's offensive. Will.
Let's go.
Look, I know we're not supposed to take coaches into this, all right? I think this is a championship caliber team. I have it at 6 just because, like, I was a little afraid. I think if I did this again, I'd probably put it at like 4 or 3. Yeah, I'd move it up a lot because, I don't know. I thought the drill was like a little bit of a reach at the time just because, like, Don Fan was taken from him, so he just took the next ground spinner that was still on the board. And I don't know. I think it's really solid. Like, his top 3 is scary to switch into, and then he just surrounded it with, like, good value defense. Other than, like, Bronzong is a little bit high for me personally, but I mean, his worst mon is Togedemaru. Second worst is either Munchlax or Togetic, so solid team. Got depth and it's good.
I can see your bias showing, but I do like this team.
I'm definitely biased. I love Taylor. He's one of my favorite people. I love Taylor. So
I definitely I do like the team a lot. It's something I would use. Like I said, I think it's like if I were to see this team, I'm thinking, yeah, this is probably top 6.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyone else want to say anything? Otherwise, I think we're good to keep going.
I can make a really terrible comparison.
Okay. We'd love to hear it.
This is like a Honda Civic in the way that there's like, you know, the teenagers who really soup up those cars, so it's just a definite sleeper car type thing. So when it pulls up to you next to like the light, and then it'll just fucking zoom off because the dude's a fucking maniac.
The Honda Civic.
Okay.
It's a racer.
Sure.
Yeah. Taylor is the Honda Civic of FBL.
I thought it was a bad comparison.
Oh,
You did say that. All right, so next up we have a few we can talk about. I guess it would be Noah, Jake, and Theo. Put Noah at number 8. Theo, what are you thinking?
Here, I can start
Jake
off.
can change it though.
So I struggled doing roughly like my 4 through 8 because I thought they all had really good teams, but I just was not sure how this order would go out in the end. I don't know. When it came to Noah's team, like I look at this, I like his team. It's just I guess I'm gonna say more issues with it than I did some of the others. At least the first time I looked at him. I think Charizard's weird. I don't see why it's on this team personally.
Mhm.
It's this fire type, but
It's a fire, it's a flying.
I feel like he could have gotten a
dog.
better. I feel like he could have gotten a better fire type. I guess he wanted defog flying too, but like
He has
I don't
so
know, I
many
feel like
defoggers. Why does he need more defog?
From
no,
a
yeah,
cancer, you moron. That's 4 times
Okay,
weight to
he has
rock.
a
They can't run
Superior,
both.
a Florges, a Rotom Wash, and a Mew. How much defog do you fucking need?
I don't want to hear anything because I've seen Ant run like 9 low tier defoggers with that Volcarona last gen.
Okay, but that was before
No,
boots. I guess this is no boots because it's Mega Pinsir. Okay,
yeah,
you know what?
Pinsir can't run boots.
No, I was just looking at though as his fire type because that's what I think its main role would kind of be. Because I don't think it would be his defogger as its main role, and I just don't like it personally. And that, but like obviously Mew's should work on any team unless you're a bad coach because it's Mew and it can do anything you need it to do. I don't know. I think it's good. Like I think everything from now on is good. It's just I wasn't sure. I don't know. There's something I was uncertain about it.
Fair enough. Jake, anything you want to say then?
You
I
guys
feel like
get it.
if this team was just drafted by Carboni, you guys would have ranked it lower. I think this is just a slightly better Carboni team.
I think the top 5, 6 are cool. I mean,
Look, I might be biased. I probably am because Noah's my son. But like, with the top 7's untouchable. It's so good.
well, and then Florges
like
and
you-
Superior are good lower-ish tier, like, value. I don't
Exactly.
know.
Like he's got the defog for Pinsir. I feel like he's got the Mons to help break for Mew, to help break for Kamo. Pinsir's there. I feel like he probably couldn't have a better Mega. He could drop the Charizard for something, I don't know. But I think overall it is one of my favorite teams.
I'd agree. I put it at number 2, which probably sounds like a big reach, but I would like to point out, I think this is the best hazard game in the whole league. I mean, the
Oh
amount
my
of
god, can we stop?
versatility that you have. He's got like 6 rockers, 2 spikers, 2 T-spikers, a sticky Weber, great defoggers, and then you
Wait,
got to deal with
where's the
all
Weber?
those setup options. Mew.
With webs.
Mew.
You get webs?
You
Yeah.
does not get web. You does not get webs.
What? I thought I
It
used that
doesn't.
one.
It does not get webs.
I was
Oh.
like, that's news to me.
Well, he doesn't need it because he's got all the setup options too. Like, imagine all that like chip potential, and then you got prep every week for whatever Mew could bring, Como, Nasty Plot, Rotom, Swords Dance, Pinsir. Even after you get like past those, you still got to worry about the Registeel and the Superior setting up.
You didn't even say
I don't know, I think this
Greninja.
team's
Hello?
broken.
You right there.
True.
I just think, yeah, how Noah uses Ren is how. That's how far Noah goes. If he uses a grade, he'll do good.
If he doesn't lose to Speed Swap Bronzong, no spoilers, but doesn't lose to that, he'll probably do fine.
You mean the same guy that bolt switched to ground type?
Look,
Nice.
Look, man, I love Taylor. I really do. He's a good guy.
Man literally just did the definition of insanity. Did not work the first time, I'll do it
I'm
again.
just gonna keep clicking fucking Volt Switch.
I was ready for the third.
Oh God!
Oh my god, I love Taylor so much.
All right, let's. I think we
Yeah,
talked about
we can
Noah
keep
enough.
going. So that would be Buxton would be next.
Bucks versus Team A.
I guess it's the same two people. Wait, oh no, it's me. It would be me. Yeah, I have Buxton 8th. I just don't. What were his changes? He got Fletchinder and somebody else.
He dropped Blissey mainly for, what was it, P-Train?
I think his speed is really like weird. Because Sceptile's not going to come to a ton of games, I'd imagine. Espeon is super hit and miss. So like for me, it goes from Beedrill, like on consistent mons. I think it goes from like Beedrill all the way down to like Lele, Zygarde, which are the same speed tier of just like consistent mons. I know that the other ones are there, but like
Yo, Bolton's right there.
Hey, we can't hate on Bolton anymore. Nintega.
Dude, Nintega's Bolton might be the greatest Pokemon of all time, and I legitimately mean that. Like that was like the Pikachu in the anime of FBL Pokemon. That are like Steph's Clawitzer from Season 8. Those Pokemon are built different. Me and him were messaging during the draft. He got sniped on a few things. He really wanted Corviknight to fall to him. Didn't happen. He picked up some stuff. It's a solid team. I don't know. I have to see it in action. I think there's a lot of points that are left on the board that I'm not sure are being used like super well.
To be honest, I don't think any team like 8 and up is bad. I think
Yeah,
all of them
no,
are
I
good.
agree.
We just have
That
to,
was my thing.
We have to like nitpick, yeah.
My thing is Noah's team could easily be, because I had him 8, he could easily be like 4. But my thing with Buxton, I put him above. I have the bias towards Mons. I'm not talking like bias towards Buxton. Like I see Lele, I see Beedrill, I see Milotic. I love him. Gotta love him. Like I think he's lacking more of an offensive presence on the. I mean, he has good offensive Mons, but I don't know. It's like there's less offense than defense. Because like I don't think Espeon and Boltund are coming too much compared to. I see his
if
team
it has
being,
bad matchup, Lele is going to have to carry so much of an offensive load. And look, that Pokemon definitely can do it, but like, fuck, dude, it's going to have to be like DD, Zygarde, Lele, and then figure it out from there. It's just, the defense isn't like amazing.
Because I had the Beedrill Lele combo last season, and like there were a lot like
you had under shoot.
No.
Yeah, I was going to say, no.
I wasn't done. I was not done. There was a lot of matches I could not bring that Beedrill because it was a terrible matchup.
Yeah.
But it helped that Lele didn't have to carry all the load because I had another huge offensive presence being that Urshifu. He doesn't have that unless he can set up with the Zygarde.
Yeah,
So-
I agree.
He runs into that issue with this team.
Will, you know Buxton pretty well. You want to take the reins on this one?
Sure, I think it's a solid team.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dragon Fairy Steel is pretty nuts. The depth I think is very solid, and yeah, just overall like the defense looks very tough to break. A couple negatives, like you guys were saying, it's kind of like all the good speed on the team is low tier, and kind of a ground weakness sort of. Outside of like that Mandibuzz, it looks pretty ground weak. So yeah, but I think it's a very solid team.
I see an electric weakness, to be honest.
A little bit, definitely. Hey, Bolton's right there, though. Dude, this is about to be the fucking
his biggest
Nintendo
weakness is
bullpen.
Rock.
Might as well name this podcast like Bull from the Goat or something.
I guess
Bolton?
no. Rock is
Exclamation
pretty
point, question
tough
mark?
for him because it's like Zygarde's the only actual resist.
And speaking of Rock, that's only Heatran.
Yeah, Hazard setup is definitely very bad. Switch initiative is pretty solid with like Bolton, Titanal, Beedrill, Mandibuzz, Milotic. Like he's got good switch-ins to Zygarde and Lele. I don't know. I think this could definitely be a playoff team, or it could be like the 10th seed. We got to see Buxton, and he's one of the better coaches I think in this D2. So I wouldn't put it past him to make playoffs.
That's my thing. I think, like, him being one of the better coaches, he will at least make playoffs, even with his team not looking like it's one of the top 6 teams.
Mm. All right, and then next would be Paul. Will has at number 7. I think is. Oh wait, no, we actually. Paul at
Mega
number
Glade's
8.
overrated, guys.
I'll have Will go first, and then Nick, you can follow it up with anything you want to say.
So the thing that scares me about Paul's team is it looks a little too much like Brandon's hyper offense team the last season that just kind of had like the Vaporeon and the Steelix to be defensive. This looks like a slightly upgraded version of that. I don't know. He does have a better defense. The top 6 sets up, which is kind of nuts. Tons of options there. But having like Steelix being your only steel and your only ground seems a little weird. The dark is Grimer, Alolan. So yeah, just kind of some of like those like core spots seem to be lacking.
I can agree that Steelix definitely is going to be relied on pretty heavily. Maybe he could combine like Ambipom and is Registeel taken? It is. That's right.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It's D1. It's not. Steelix and Ambipom into a Pokemon. Maybe there. I don't know. I could see him getting a better Steel or a Ground. But honestly, for both those typings on one Pokemon, Steelix not awful. I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool team. Nick, you can follow it up, but he's very setup reliant, 100%.
Yeah, I like the defense. I like Rotom, Suicune, Crobat, Steelix together. Very Steelix heavy, like you guys said. Bottom 3 are irrelevant that Ambipom's not coming to games. There's just no reason for Ambipom to come half the time. I forgot Clefable too in the defense board. I like the Volcarona, Gallade pairing as offense. I'm never a fan of Volcarona in general. But Paul is Mega Gallade. Mega Gallade's literally the best offensive breaker in the game.
Not
One of the best
Will.
setup offense in the game. One of the best megas in the game. A very underrated Mon.
I don't think enough people draft Mega Gallade. Like, it's very underappreciated.
I mean, it never caught on until like Gen 7. It's like it was never really seen in Gen 6 just because of the speed buff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was run protect and anything.
Yeah.
But I did I've Paul rated lower just because it's nothing I would probably draft. The random Spectrier is kind of there.
I mean,
Very
Gallade Spectre is
top.
a very cool combo. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
Spectre plus Fighting type is nothing crazy, like, intuitive, but they do a lot for each other. If he uses this right, I think this is one of the biggest boom teams, potentially. Like, Gallade Spectre, Volcarona, Clefable. Like, he's just got so many good Pokemon, and I think a lot of this can work together, so... Yeah, that's
And
solid.
we also have to consider like the D2 Volcarona buff is that while it may not succeed as much in D1, it will always work in the lower divisions.
It's like
That's a fact.
yeah.
That is a
At
fact.
D3.
Bro, who had the Volcarona the season that Theo
Andy.
won?
Andy.
Bro. That Volcarona
Andy.
was the Volcarona from hell. It just killed everything.
Well, I said it
I had 20 kills.
I said it the whole beginning season. The moment he doesn't have Volcarona.
Yeah, you
Gotta
did
drop
call
him.
that. You definitely did call that.
Exactly what happened. I
All
said
right.
he got. I mean, it was obvious.
What would we go to next? Probably Steph, right?
I think next is technically. Oh no, it is Steph. It's
Yeah.
Steph.
Yeah.
All right. That would be Jake and Will have him pretty low. Jake, how about you start us off on this one? What do you see? Because I think this is a pretty solid team.
I had him higher until he traded away Ferrothorn.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, that's right. I did not include that, to be honest. I think I made these before that trade. Fuck.
Yeah, because now his
myself as well.
hazard setters is Don Fan and Wormadam. But it's like I love lot balance and this is definitely passable. I mean, like, I didn't have it like low or anything, but it's my top half. But I would have liked a better like star power pair in Megalopony than just Kirim. I mean, he's got good defensive pivots with Slowbro or Rotom. But I would have at least, for one, also like had a Ghost type that like could pair with Megalop. At least some other thing that could really take on the bulky psychics, the bulky fairies that really annoy WoW. And you've got Weezing, which just won't do that. Corv, like offensively, is not going to do that a lot. It's always going to be kind of a fat defogger. So I thought there was just a lot of missed potential on the team. I think there's a solid core to work with, but there's definitely way more that this team could have achieved.
I 100% agree that Chris fucking like how he got that Ferrothorn. I just do not understand.
I've never seen a finesse more than Gen 7 for that Mence Curum trade. You remember that one, Jake?
Yep. Oh, Tristan told me about that. It was I thought it was Salamence. Fuck. Wait.
What did I say?
You said Kira.
Yes,
it was Gudra for Salamence?
Yeah,
that sounds like a dumb trade.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, green finesse step out of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I finessed harder one time. Just briefly, BBPL, I was able to trade a Zoroark for a Weavile.
What?
I mean, I traded Steph at Lando T for Bulu, but like I felt like Bulu would work better for his team in that situation.
How? It's a fucking Bulu compared to Lando T. Did he already have 3 grounds?
He already had 2 ground hits, yes.
And
he needed a grass and a fairy.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. Steph's team is pretty cool. Like Lop Kirim is really, really fun. Rotom Heat, one of my favorite Pokemon just in draft in general. Slowbro is really good teleporter into Lopunny, and Comfey's cool. So yeah, that's all I got. Will, if you want to go.
For Steph still?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all kind of already been said. To me, it just kind of boils down to the offense is way more shallow than I'd hope for on a Megalope team.
Okay. Theo, anything you want to say, or we can just keep going?
I don't know. Well, personally, I love looking at this team. I think Ferrothorn fits obviously a lot better than Corviknight, but I still don't think Corviknight's terrible for this team. Steph, please do well this season.
I think everybody's rooting for him. Like, Steph's such a nice
team,
guy.
Like, you have the team. Now you just have to do it.
Just win.
I
like,
revealed him as people's champ for a reason.
He's definitely the people's champ. Everyone loves Steph. Like, I don't know one person in this chat that does not like Steph.
Tristan doesn't like Steph.
He doesn't like Steph teams,
No, I'm
but
kidding. That'd be funny.
I just not having spikes anymore on a Megalop team. I'm sad.
Yeah, that's rough.
Chris finessed him. Do we want to talk about Chris next? Because that's who it would be.
That is next.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
So, who wants to start it off? I don't care who.
I guess I'll go ahead again. I got it. So this was the flip side to Steph. That this was like the biggest riser after he got Pharaoh. This was like this team outside of Pert and I guess Passimian really sucked against rock coverage, considering Zapdos, Victini, and Weavile and Unmega Evolved Altaria were all weak to rocks. So throwing on a Ferrothorn when you already have Zapdos and Altaria as good defogger is just amazing. So this team, I think, rose from like number 7 to my number 4, and honestly probably could be my number 3 or 2. I love Mega Alt drafts. I love Victini. I love everything about this team pretty much. Shout out to Species Clause though, Swablu. But I don't. It's the only real weakness I see on this team is just still kind of having that rock weakness. But I mean, again, you have Pharaoh Pert now, so like it's not even that much really to win on. So I really, really like this team.
And I mean, he's surrounded Pharaoh with Nihilego, Swampert, Altaria, Victini for fire resist. Like that's pretty fucking solid. I love Chris. He really popped off in a big way in NCL. It was his first ever draft league. Do went 8-3, beat good coaches. He pushed Will, I believe, to a 3-0 and Excadrill 6-0'd his team. He pushed me to. It was only a 4-0, but I froze one of his Pokemon, and that was huge. And then he lost to Slink in a 1-0. He beat James. He beat Buxton. He beat Monster 6-0. I'm trying to think of everybody in that fucking league now. He beat Tristan. Like he definitely showed that like he's got something, and I think Zapdos is going to be great for him. I'm not a huge fan of the speed tiers. I think his team's like a little slow, but Weavile can definitely make up for that. So yeah.
But it's all his top mons are fast, so.
Yeah, it's just like
That's
Victini
unfair.
and Zapdos are the same speed. Nihilego, or not Nihilego, Altaria and Passimian are the same speed. Nihilego does break 100, so that's awesome. And then it's Weavile is a huge savior for this team's speed.
And Nihilego been like at 110, it would be so much better.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
I'm gonna pull a Will here and say I do love the hazards on this team now that he has Pharaoh, Swampert, and Heligo. It's such a good hazard combo. Like you don't know which one you're gonna bring, so you gotta prep for all of them. Though.
Yeah. And then Theo, how about you give us some opinions?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have too much to say about him that already hasn't been said. I just look at his team and I like it. I just think there's a lot he can do with it. Like he has, I don't know. Victini can be literally like whatever you need to be. Zapdos, defensive, offensive, can be whatever it needs. So I don't know. Swampert's kind of standard. But like I think overall it's very just a good team.
I think Altaria is a really cool Gloomon for him. It could be defensive with like Defog Roost, or it could be just, kill you with DD setup. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what he can do. I think he's a top 3-ish coach if he plays this team well. So
I
then,
guess the
honest,
only other issue I would have is the ground resistance only being Zapdos and Swablu.
yo, Swablu's
Yeah.
here.
I think Altaria is the only thing I personally don't like on the team. Other than that, this team is great.
Okay. Will, anything you want
I'd
to say, or
love
we
to
can
use
just
this
keep
game.
going?
Let's keep going.
All right. Next up would be, I believe, Brady. Will has at number 3, which everyone else has at 2, but, whatever. Pretty much we all agree this is one of the best teams. And I know Brady the best of, I think, everybody here. I've met him in a different league, and me and Slink got him over here. Dude has no fucking self-confidence whatsoever. He every day talks about dropping Mawile Landorus for Landorus Eye and Mega Aerodactyl.
Oh God!
So please, if you have any heart, please message him to not do this. I don't care who you are. If you're in this league and you're watching this video, please message him. Don't do that trade.
No,
Well,
Nick, just
you know what?
disable
You
him
know-
from talking in transactions.
You know what's so
True.
awful is you say he has no self-confidence. 3 minutes ago, before we started talking about him, I added him and said, you were rated dead last for D2 and you named him this late.
Well,
I don't know. I just
Crazy
looked at our
deal.
list. I was like, yeah, he's rated pretty high. Said, didn't know he
Brady's
had
a
no
really cool
self-confidence.
dude. I really like him a lot. So look, this team is fucking crazy. Mawile Landorus, I have that in NCL, very cool. And then somehow, by the fucking graces of God, Coco falls to him in round 3. And then pairs it with 2 really good teleporters in Slowking and Porygon 2. Gets some cool like bulk and a better speed stat in Zarude. Moltres, I think, is super good value in this league. Gets another terrain abuser in Raichu. Drifblim, Muck, I think both of them need to go. And then my guy Marshtomp is just chilling.
No,
I'm a
that's
Drifblim truther.
the terrain boost.
No, I just don't think he needs Raichu and Drifblim personally. I guess it's fine, but
They do completely different things.
Okay.
I'm totally fine with it.
all right. I think he could maybe upgrade the Muck, but I guess it's fine. Like, it gives him another fairy switch in, which outside of Mawile wasn't like. He's Moltres. It's just a really good team.
He's like so fun versus him. But yeah, again, he has to land on them also.
hmm So,
Yep.
Will, how about you go?
It's a really solid team. I really wish he had a dragon to go alongside Mega Mawile. And other than that, the speed
Why?
is just okay. Like, it feels like
No. I gotta stop you. Why does he need a dragon to pair with Mega Man?
I just said I wish he had a dragon. I didn't say he needed one, Nick.
No. I just want to know why though. Like I get Fairy Dragon Steel. I just want to know why.
Because it's a proven good combo.
Grass resist.
That's it. I mean, he's
Wait,
got
no, what-
Moltres,
okay,
Zarude.
Okay, okay. I look like an idiot now. For whatever reason, my type chart that I'm looking at just deleted all the data for grass resistance. Like this man has a Moltres, a Zarude, and a Maul. I'll stop.
All right. I was gonna say, I was like,
Why did that delete
Yeah,
that? What
that
the
was-
hell?
Yeah. My only thing for this team is I think he is like offensively. This team is like just those top 3 by themselves offensively.
Juggernaut.
hurt everyone else. If he could play Slowking like Nintendo played Slowking, just the future sight teleport out like shit if he wants to. Like he could stall some certain things with Porygon too that could cause him trouble otherwise. If he needs like just kind of annoy the shit out of the people. Zarude, we were shown is actually we all everyone hates Zarude or used to at least, but not like
It's coming around.
It's just stupid, but like it's coming around. It's showing it's actually good, and then like you said, Moltres in this league is actually like used pretty well.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's-
the other thing about Brady too is his rockers are kind of unfortunate. Like to get rocks up, he's got to put it on Mega Mawile or Landorus, who like don't really want to do it, or the Marshtomp, I guess. But
Goat. Yeah, no, I can agree. It definitely forces Lando into a role, and then if you don't want to put Lando in that role, like if you need it to be something, Mawile has to like forego SD or knockoff or whatever. So I can agree that definitely sucks. If you could get one more hazard setter, maybe over the Muck or the Drifblim or whatever, I think this is a top 3 team for sure.
I know we joke on it, but there is a viable Trick Room option.
I guess.
feature.
So, someone correct me if I'm wrong. He has eight pivot users, right?
He has 8 what?
8 what users?
8 pivot users. So Lando, Coco, Slowking, P2, Zarude, Moltres, Raichu, Alolan, and does Marshtomp get flip turn?
No, it does not. But Mawile
it's
gets Baton Pass.
Yeah, so he has. That's what I was thinking. He's got 7 pivot users to get that Mawile in. That's absurd.
Yeah,
This is like Max Volturn on steroids.
I
And,
definitely
oh
agree.
my god, if he can get that Mawile in every time, he's not losing games.
Well, he also has another one in Drifblim, but he has to be very careful with stats. Because if he does run like Calm Mind or something, it passes a stat that will
Oh, okay.
not be good for him. But he has that one if he wanted to run Baton Pass for some reason.
I think the Validator... Oh, no, the Validator would let you do Baton Pass with Calm Mind, I think, depending on the format.
I think ours does because it's Legacy, or no, not Legacy, because it's...
Yeah.
Nah, just the national dex ones don't have the compass clause, I don't think.
Gotcha.
Because some leagues allow the compass.
We used to.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, but his 2 worst Pokemon are the only 2 that don't have some form of Volturn for him.
but yeah, overall, this is obviously one of the better teams. If he uses that Mawile well, he should be a top playoff team for sure. And then there's only one team I think we really need to talk about now. Aaron, who many consider to be the presumptive D2 champ.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Hey, you won
buddy.
already.
Wow, Aaron already won season 11. Let's go to season
Look,
Look,
5.
so
D1,
he
buddy.
started with it was what
Welcome to
Scizor
D1.
Hydreigon, and everyone's like, okay, this is kind of dope. And then he turned it into Rain, and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then round 6, how the fuck did Torrentee fall to him in round 6? And what this team is crazy good.
Use your words. Oh, there you go.
I'm so happy for fucking Aaron, dude. He was building this team. He had originally had Torn Eye because we both thought there was no chance Torrentee would be there with Scizor and Hydreigon gone. If anyone else wants to take the reins, I think it's just this is pretty far and above every other team in this league or in this
Yeah, like
division.
the only real fault we keep on harping on hazards is Rhyperior really is the only rocker. I mean, Wigglytuff is there, but
We all had him first.
Default
right?
is fine. Yeah, we all have him first.
Yeah, I don't know. The only people I feel like that are intelligent people that wouldn't put him first are people in D2 that like really want to think they're the shit. But I feel like even most D2 coaches would be like, yeah, this team's most threatening. I just look at it and I'm like, fuck.
The only problem I see is I don't like either Fairy on the team, but that's not even a problem when you have this type of offense.
Literally.
No,
I look
why
at this
does-
team.
Will
Why
you
does
take the reins?
Barrascuda get taxed for getting a speed boost it doesn't need, but Torrentee doesn't get weather taxed?
He's
That's
right.
the balance.
Yeah, that's a fair balance, I guess. I look at this team, and I'd take my season 10 team. I would have felt threatened.
I'm
My
so-
Lele
yeah.
or she would have felt threatened by this.
I think I said this in chat. This looks like Mises D3 season 9 team.
Just better.
It added Hydreigon. It added a better Swiftsum user. But yeah, Maybe a worse electric user because Jolteon's not the best, but like
He wanted
Thunder
Helios,
and
and
Rain.
that got sniped from him.
Helios or what's it called? Jolteon and Rain still gonna work.
Yeah, no, for
He
sure.
has a Whimsicott. What am I saying? He has a fairy type.
Yeah, so it's Wigglytuff.
I said
He has your
fairy types.
Pokemon?
I just don't like his fairy types.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
valid.
Like, no, same.
I just don't think either one is a reliable fairy.
Right.
Like, I think
I wholeheartedly agree.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
I
would
think
say they're
Taylor's
not
totally
reliable
different.
until Dragapult's on the field, and then Wigglytuff seems to be the best option.
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
it's got its parent versus one mom.
I really
Okay.
don't think we have to spend a ton more time on this. I think we all pretty much agree. It's Aaron and then
think-
everybody else.
I think just looking at it, looking at the team just explains itself.
Yeah. All right. I think now it's time
And
to
that's
move
it
on
for the
to
video. We'll talk
yeah.
to you
I
guys
want to
later.
thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe.
Wait, you guys forgot to talk about one other singles team.
Oh, true, Skylar. So, Skylar's
Skylar.
got Tyranitar. Wait, this is the best singles team? Oh God. Oh,
I thought it was
God.
second best singles team.
Second best.
Second best.
Singles team.
Second.
All right, now Jake, I'm gonna, Jamaica. All right, we need to talk. Okay. We have no idea what we're doing here. This is gonna be pretty much on you. We will chime in when we feel like it, but this is all you,
Okay.
buddy.
I felt very confident in my rankings.
Yeah.
We can tell. We can tell. We can tell.
All right. So I always say this is kind of like a forefront for how I did most of my rankings. Is that a big thing that I've found in my short career of VGC draft leagues is having multiple and variant options is great. So it's less so much of that. Even if you have a well-established VGC core, if that's the main thing you're relying on, teams can very much deal with that in the double setting since there's way more versatility and variability in how you can tackle an approach. So one of the reasons why I had Skylar as my first team is because she only has like one mode, and that is Sand. Is that if you deal with her Sand, look at her speed tiers outside of Sand, find me a mon above 90. And I understand that like in BGC that not having like the well-defined speed tiers as in singles matters as much, but you still at least want to have some speed on your team because only one mon can have Choice Scarf
Yeah.
due to item clause. So especially in a Dynamax setting when you can easily override weather with just Max Geyser, Max Flare, you can essentially shut down her entire offense. Dusclops is seemingly a random mon on this team for me. I understand that it can do, ally switch stuff with your Sandcore to make sure you don't take a Max Knuckle or something. And Trick Room with Tyranitar is a well-established option. I just felt like it was a point sink that she really did not need to go into. It's just, I think, by far and away the most limited team in the VGC drafts for me.
All right. Awesome. You really knocked it out of the park. Good job, Majaki. We love to see it. So, who do you want to talk about next?
I mean, if we can just, I guess, continue with my list, I'll just try to cover over.
Yeah, well, you can go in your order. We'll whatever point.
This is a team that I think rightfully should be higher, but is really held back due to contractual obligations, and that's Slink. Had this team been able to round itself out better outside of having to take a point sink in a mill tank, I would have liked this so much more, especially after the transactions that was made. Getting probably one of the best Trick Room cores that even I myself was looking at the beginning of the draft in DD Hat is something really good to rely on Rhyperior. I just wish it had like a better weakness policy proc for Rhyperior outside of like hitting it with mill tanks full of those. Like you don't have from your Trick Room setters really a way to set off Rhyperior, which is a little unfortunate. Speed outside of Noivern is a little lacking, actually quite a lot so. It's got good Gloomons and Urshifu, Heatran, Rotom, good cores. Just having 4 normal types on a VGC roster is just really, really redundant and really holds the team back. So,
I mean, to be fair, 2 of them are Munchlax and Baneri, but yeah.
Right, but like having a Miltank on an DD team, there's this. I at least going off and seeing how he did in those exhibition matches versus Chris, that he at least seems pretty comfortable with the team and has found a way to make Miltank work. But he's definitely like a couple steps behind other teams just because of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, if he didn't fuck up that, if Taylor doesn't burn him with the fucking, what was it? Magmortar in week 11. You know, that changed everything for Slink. It sucks, but
Cry me a river.
I mean, hey man, you know, I know Hack Scott over here has nothing to worry about, but you know, sure. Jake, just keep her rolling.
Okay, I guess it's just a me show for the rest of this.
I do. I look. I would love to give input here. All I know about doubles is that people bring a lot of the same mons, and I get that there's tons of different sets and how metagames evolve. I saw the fucking Wolf Glick video, but like, it's just, I don't know. It's not that interesting to me personally.
I mean, we could have like a comparison, like, because Will really doesn't know VDC, and Will like kind of rated it as singles team, so Jake could tell us like the differences.
I guess, yeah.
My knowledge only pertains to certain teams, so I have to wait for those teams.
Questions on certain mons, I definitely could, I guess, extrapolate off of that. Otherwise, I'm just gonna briefly go over how I rank them PR wise.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just move on to Shoops unless you guys have any pertinent questions you want to ask.
No, I think I'm okay.
I have a question about a team, but you haven't gotten them yet, so I'll wait.
Okay.
Yeah, same
so,
here.
with Shoops' team, this was a team I was really looking forward to and was heavily disappointed with. Yes, he got Regirock, but then he has literally nothing to support it. There's no Trick Room option. He's got, I guess, Amoonguss as a cool redirector to take on its weaknesses, but this is just like a kind of decent singles team, and there's almost no versatility VGC-wise. It's just got a lot of Gloomons. There's a coaching support for Dragonite. I don't believe Frostmoth gets Ice Shard. I can't remember if it does or not, but like you can't rock a weakness policy off of that into an instant VMAX. I have no fucking clue why Toxapex is on this team when you have an Amoonguss and a Suicune, and it already suffers from Amphan syndrome. All my friends forget syndrome.
It does not get Ice Shard, by the way.
Cool. Alcremie is a cool option for Decorate support, but again, there's only so much that can really abuse it. Again, if there was a Regirock and Trick Room, it would be cool, or if there was more speed outside of Zapdos and Dragonite, at least they get Max Airstream to boost their speed. However, it's not a team that's really going to take control from turn one, in my opinion. It's definitely a slow play team, and I don't know if that's really going to work. And there's just a lot of dead space on this team that I don't really see.
Okay. I actually did kind of have something to say. This wasn't the team I was talking about because I don't have a question. But I think, like, Shoops, if you listen to this, I don't have, like, my knowledge of VGC is not much. Like, I know Incineroar is good, but Incineroar is not, like, some star, like, offensive presence. And that's what I feel like Shoops is kind of missing here. Because, like, Alcremie with Decorate, because I liked Alcremie with Decorate, but I feel like it'd be really good if he had, like, if he had Trick Room, then Regirock could be that presence, but he doesn't. Yeah. If he had, though, someone that didn't need Trick Room because he doesn't have it, Alcremie would be perfect for it to Decorate, and then it's like, oh shit, look at this thing. And then, like, with a Follow Me Mon, then they can't hit it while he's hit whatever he wants to do, just getting kills. Like, he's just missing one or, like, if he changes out, like, one or two Pokemon, this team could be so much better.
Also, just how weak this team is to Rock. What is it?
Oh, yeah.
His resist is Sock. So like a max Rockfall, it's pretty much free versus the opposing team, I guess, except Regirock since it's just that fat. I've used Incineroar in the past in VGC for draft. I've seen other people make offensive work. I've seen it be a really cool Dynamax option. But it's the big case for this team is it's just got a lot of glue with nothing really to glue into. It's got D-Knight, and that's about it. Suicune Zapdos is slightly redundant for Tailwind. I really don't see what Suicune and Toxapex do for this team.
I was going on to say, yeah. I was going to say Tailwind's the only thing I can think of with Suicune.
Yeah, unless if he wants to like somehow sit there with like Amoonguss and Rage Powder and Spore while he Calm Minds, maybe. But it's not an easy thing to just be like, I need to be afraid of this team.
I guess Suicune's like a niche, like it can be like Bulldoze or something, but like, what's really taking advantage on his team of that? Maybe the Regirock? But like,
weakness policy Regirock.
Yeah, there's a Trick Room setter for the Bulldoze to actually take back.
No, yeah, that would have been.
Like, if he was able to finagle a trade with Skylar to get Dusclops, I'd be so much more happier with this team. But I also think there's no reason for Skylar to draft or
to get the best singles team.
Dusclops.
She's going for Suicune.
Yeah, of course. But moving on, I would say a comparable team that I had one spot higher would be Aces. Aces is also another team that's just a lot of glue. Granted, a little bit more that they can do with it. Rillaboom is one of the best mons in the format. Having Nihilego in terrain is nice, even though Earthquake isn't really run as much. It's a lot more high horsepower for single target damage. Hydreigon School, I love the Fable in VGC just because Follow Me is busted with setup options. Granted, there isn't a lot of setup options on this team. Having two of the best Intimidators in the format in Hitmontop and Arcanine is really nice, especially also for Nihilego. But in terms of like outward scary cores, like there's no beat up support for Justified Arcanine. Scizor doesn't really do much except just banded like Bullet Punch, I guess. There's nothing that I see is I need to worry about together. It's just a lot of mods that I think on their own kind of shine, but I don't see how the team works together. That's the big thing for me. It's just a lot of relatively solid mods in the format. So I think Ace has tools to succeed. It's really going to come down to his creativity in order to make cores because there's no well-defined cores that I see.
So would you drop Scizor then on his team?
I probably would.
Yeah,
I would probably look at a different steel. I believe Bronzong was taken, but like something along that type, like of a defensive steel, potentially could work, or just some access maybe to Trick Room just to flip things around. Because he does have speed tiers kind of in the middle. At least this team has no like speed control options that I'm aware of. So
Tailwind Scizor.
And I'm a very
Bulldoze Hitmontop.
Yeah, I'm a very big believer in speed control in the draft format for VGC, and just only having like Icy Wind, Clefable, and Swampert is pretty troubling.
I do like the Hitmontop. Hitmontop again, world champion mon. Shout out to Hitmontop. Fake out.
It's a good mon.
Yeah, I think it's probably. I think it's like Ace. It's gonna be like Ace's like shining star on this team, like Loki.
Yeah, having double Intimidate and double Fake Out, I think he can really just kind of standard play a lot of games. But I don't see where a lot of creativity comes into play.
On a brighter note, Ace wins the award for best singles team. Finally, Dragon Fairy Steel Core, bunch of good breakers. As you could probably expect, the hazard game is nice, but even at that, the best singles team in VGC is Vega's Season 10 team.
How are the two best single drafts in VGC?
Oh, this team's good. But like I said, I think the bar is way lower because this basically is Nintega's team from Season 10.
Yeah, honestly.
You know what? Yeah,
similar.
you're right. You're 100% right.
Yo, how many games is Bolton coming to for Ace?
Over under.
I will say
over under 5.
You're sleeping on Bolton. Bolton's actually pretty decent in draft. It gets access to Charm and Eerie Impulse, so it's a really good debuffer as a fast mon. And then also with competitive, it's a cheeky anti-intimidate mon.
Yo, I just saw Monster drafted Cubfu. That's my guy. I love Cubfu. Yo.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Yeah, just keep going. Sorry.
Okay. So next I have Geronda. Spoiler alert, I basically built this team, but he had a lot of ideas going into it as well. He wanted Sableye, which I think is really cool. This is where we start kind of getting the teams where there's some obvious well-defined cores, and we're starting to branch out into some versatility. I compare this to Skylar's in that this team is very threatening outside of the main weather option. You have to really respect Sneasel, Terrakion, beat-up strats.
I love that, yeah.
But also, like, Azu has Perish Trap. Sap Zipper is kind of nice for track as well. Sableye is annoying as hell to deal with in BDC because the big thing is Prankster Quash. So depending on if like you have your one offensive check to, let's say, Terrakion next to it, if after you've killed Sneasel for whatever reason, okay, cool, now Terrakion goes first, you're dead. Lilligant actually has a reason why it's 6 points in this format is because it gets access to After You. So in Chlorophyll with Sun next to Torkoal, you After You and you have an Eruption Specs Torkoal moving faster than anything else in the field.
Yo, that's cool.
That's neat. I like that.
The only real knock I have on this team is that I would have liked it to have a better Trick Room option outside of Claydol. Torkoal is an absolute beast in VGC, and it really only being a part of the Sun Core and nothing else is just kind of a hindrance. Also, Skarmory is just kind of here as a steal, not really anything else.
I was about to ask, is there a reason like what move does Skarmory take advantage of? Does it
The
have
way that I
anything?
would see Skarmory at least gets a decent offensive move pool that you could theoretically pair. This is risky as hell, but like beat up on weak armor, you get like max speed at the expense of all your defense.
Yeah.
But having some sort of like weak armor strat into a cheeky Dynamax option, because I believe it gets access to a ground move with steel. Having steel and ground coverage for max options, I think, is some of the best coverage you can have, because max steel spike boosts your defense and max ground boosts your SPDF. So being able to do great offensive damage while also making yourself harder to kill is really cool. Plus having stab airstream, it theoretically could be a cheeky Dynamax pick. I honestly threw it on there just because the team didn't have a steel. I think initially he was going to go for Steelix, but then just couldn't afford it. But
I also just noticed it gets Icy Wind too. I never knew that. Like even in singles, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think Skarmory can definitely do some things, but it's not going to be a mon coming to more than maybe 2 matches.
Okay.
Also, another cool thing with Azu is that you don't even have to run huge power. You can just have it have very weak Aqua Jets into like weakness policy Charizard.
Okay.
So there's definitely a lot of stuff Geronda can do, and I'm interested to see how much he comes up with on his own outside of the obvious stuff.
This was the team I had a question on, and you answered it completely.
Cool. What was the question, by the way? I'm curious.
Just because I was very confused where he was going with this team, and it was completely answered. So I was like, okay, this now all makes sense. Now everything on this team makes sense.
Yeah, so that's like the big thing. I'll touch on a little bit again with weather is that having a weather option as opposed to having a weather team, I think is so much more valuable in BGC because it's so much easier to just not bring it, but also because it's a 4-mon format, is that it can easily dictate a match.
So like that's the difference between like Skylar and Geronda's team then? Okay.
Is that literally Skylar's entire team revolves around that sand offense. Is that you could theoretically do some lower tier stuff on Skylar's team, but you're at so much more of a disadvantage to rely on that, where Geronda has an entire team option where he doesn't have to rely on Sun.
Okay.
Which is another reason we'll touch on the monster later on and why I had him much higher as well. Next up, I have Smith. Smith's team is literally just a bunch of gimmicks. There's just a bunch of cores here that do funny things together. I don't see a lot of glue on this team. I feel like you could probably get rid of Tornadus for just something else. Nothing on the team really needs Tailwind support. Dragapult's already like the fastest spawn in the format.
Why is Venipede higher than Vespiquen?
Because that was where it was drafted. Or was Venipede? No, because Venipede's also a 1-point mon.
Oh, Vespiquen is also 1? Okay.
Yeah, Vespiquen's 1 point as well. Vespiquen's it gets moves. It theoretically could work, but the team also does everything that Vespiquen would offer. His Dragapult has like fast beat up for Clavalian. Dragapult, you're really going to see more of a supportive mon than straight offensive. However, straight offensive still has to definitely be respected. Again, no real option to like proc a weakness policy per se on Dragapult, like at least fast wise. But like max Dragapult with weakness policy paired next to Clefairy to basically make sure that you're not getting O-code to proc the weakness policy is definitely something teams have to respect, especially next to Follow Me. Dragapult Colossal is tried and true. Having Gyarados next to Togedemaru is going to be really annoying for teams. I think the real sleeper pick though on this team is going to be Meowstic. What I love more than speed control in VDC is Prankster mons. Having access to like Prankster, I believe Fank Tears, Prankster Charm,
just screens in general.
Also, this is a Satan strat that I gave to Smith, and I'm maybe going to regret week 1. Meowstic Shiinotic is a core that I found about a week ago. Meowstic is the only Prankster mon that gets skill swap. You skill swap Prankster and Shiinotic, you have Prankster Spores. There is no sleep clause in VVC.
Let's go,
bro.
Demon.
I'm so proud of Smith.
I'm looking at the rankings right now, and Will's got Smith last, and I 100% agree with that.
This would be an awful singles team.
I despise the way this team looks in singles and in doubles. I get what Jake said; like that makes sense. This team is just god awful ugly, though.
Yeah. Oh no. The thing is, I've also I participated in a team tour, and this was basically a team comp that I drafted for our teams. It just had like Grimmsnarl over Tornadus and Clefairy, but it had like
Yeah.
Dragapult, Colossal, Gyarados, Cavalier, Togedemaru. Those monsters were on the team, and it was pretty damn solid. So I know there's stuff that can happen with this team. I really think what's lacking on the roster is the fact that outside of like trickery with your leads, I don't see what's really you keep in the back to keep momentum. So I feel like Smith's going to win a lot of game ones, and then once people figure out what he's going for, possibly could get steamrolled the next two.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So how on earth does a mon like Clefairy become so relevant in VGC?
Friend guard.
Cool.
So
The fuck
friend
is
guard
Friend
makes
Guard?
your ally friend guard as an ability. The ally Pokemon next to you takes 3/4 damage from all hits.
Oh wow.
And with Eviolite and Clefairy's relative bulk, unless you're hitting it super effectively or with a very powerful max move, theoretically it'll live. And as a follow me mon, if you can get 2 turns off for follow me next to like a booster or something, or like a max Dragapult, that's pretty fucking scary. Also, just helping hand. It's just a very, very good support mon. And if you want to be rude and run like Sing, theoretically you also just can't ignore it. Being the only mon with access to Friend Guard outside of like Jigglypuff, which is just not a thing in VGC, it's very nice to have. I just again would probably wish it had a little bit more on the team to pair with Clefairy outside of like just Gyarados and Dragapult.
Do you think Smith can be a playoff team?
Yes.
Okay.
I think if Smith is smart with his team comps, because like I said, he's got a lot of gimmicks that he can rely on throughout the entire roster minus the bugs, that if teams only just fear Dragapult Colossal or Dragapult Cobalion, they can definitely be caught off guard.
Okay.
So
I'm just,
going off of the gimmicks, at one point during the draft, Smith messaged me and he said, with my remaining picks, do I get A, evasion hacks, B, moody, C, confusion hacks, D, double.
oh my
There
god.
was one mon I was fearful that he would get, and that's Glalie next to Clefairy.
Yeah.
Having follow me plus Friend Guard next to a moody Glalie that just substitute protects the entire time. I was just like, oh, okay, we have the heel of the season.
I was
He was definitely focused on the most heinous things.
Yes.
I was going down the list of Clefairy too, and also get stuff like Encore, Ally Switch, even like Gravity, like Jake said, you can boost the Sings. And then the one thing that I didn't really read over, but I finally did now, it gets role play, so it could replace its ability with target's ability, so it could do some shenanigans with that as well.
So I guess theoretically, if you pair it next to like Tornadus and get Prankster.
Yeah, that was the first thing.
And
I
give
thought
it
was
Friend
Prankster.
Guard. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool.
Like that.
But yeah, I think the only real thing holding us back is not having a lot of glue. / I think Tornadus being such a huge point sink could have been invested into something else because he already has Meowstic and Gyarados.
Okay. So then you would go to Scott.
Yes, and this was a team I had a very hard time putting at number 6 because oh my god, that top 4. That top 4 could probably be just brought to almost all the games and work.
Yeah, I was about to say I love Scott's top 4. It's amazing.
It's so stupid.
It looks so fun.
Also, just pure color aesthetic of the team being mostly purple is also cool.
Wow.
The big reason why I had it at number 6 as opposed to everyone else is I think he has probably the weakest supporting core outside of those top. He's got utility options with Togetic for Follow Me next to like a Gigas or mainly Spectre. Spectre next to dedicated like redirection to get it to like Nasty Plot or just start firing off very powerful max hits. Very, very scary if you don't have a proper resist. And even then, because with the advent of Dynamax, you can also just catch a max strike hyper beam to the face. So if you have a dark or a normal that isn't like super specially defensive, you're probably dying anyways. Steelix is just kind of there to make sure the team doesn't lose to electrics. No real trick room option for that, so it's not a mon I see coming a lot. Luxray could have been possibly a better Intimidate user, but having an Intimidate user next to Weezing is cool because the way that interacts is that, let's say you have Luxray in and you Intimidate in, next turn you switch in Weezing, then you switch Weezing out, it'll get another Intimidate.
Wow.
So like a common Series 8 core was like Regigigas Weezing with Zacian. Also, if it would get the Intrepid Sword boost,
Oh
that
lord.
also works that way too.
Is regular Weezing
Um,
better than Galarian Weezing?
Yes, because you're not weak to steel.
Okay.
Having the less weaknesses is really nice because if you have, like, let's say, a way you could potentially get around Regigigas, just making yourself more bulky, is that if you just fire off a max steel strike into the Galarian Weezing, you also might potentially just kill it to make Regigigas weaker, but then also you're making yourself bulkier.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I love Crobat as a supportive mod. It's got really cool options in Fast Tailwind, Fast Screech, or Regigigas. So being faster, you can lower your opponent's defense by 2, and I'm pretty sure that kills anything. Uh, Having it also be a pretty cheeky Dynamax option next to Grimmsnarl, since that has Prankster Fake Tears. Um, Crobat is cool next to Spectre as well, because being a poison flying type, its Little Stab max moves boost special attack and speed. Um, it's a mod I usually like to pair with like a Tapu Fini, but it definitely works on the team. Starmie is a cheeky Dynamax option just because of the coverage it gets. Outside of that, I don't really see much that it offers to the team, and then Blossom and Flareon are just kind of hanging out.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not a team you have to be super creative with. There are some tools that you could work with, but just that top 4 is going to win so many games for Scott this season. I would be very surprised if he doesn't make playoffs.
Okay. And then your next would be Monster.
Monster. I thank Monster so much for being a nice guy and trading me Lapras because I literally just wanted to use it. This is a very solid Rain team. Probably could have done a little bit better over Blastoise on his team, but that's just the nature of being nice to me. Having a Ranguru, I think, is going to be a clutch pick on this team because you have a Trick Room option outside of the Rain, but also can work with the Rain with the Scavalier. But then also having Instruct for like mons like, I don't know, Galarian Moltres with Fiery Wrath, which you get 2 potential times to flinch the opponent.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Having Screens with Regieleki, also a very cheeky Dynamax option, just because everyone's kind of look at the support options that it offers. Even then, Blastoise is still definitely usable on this Rain core, having access to Rain Dish, but then also having water or Rain boosted Shell Smash Water Spouts. The only issue is that there's no redirection on the team, and I don't think he has great ally switch. Yeah, it's just Oranguru. So that's, if you'll watch a lot of VGC matches, ally switch is kind of the move that's considered the no skill move, is that you can just be random with clicking ally switch and you'll probably come out on top. So having that as a reliance to make sure Blastoise can set up properly is not going to be something that happens a lot, I would imagine. Garchomp, I like a little bit, more so because it's a good Dynamax option. I don't like it outside of Dynamax because it's ground stab that is not Earthquake, is Stomping Tantrum, so it's a little weak in that department.
Yeah.
And then as Outrage is random in who it attacks, having like Dragon Claw or, God forbid, Dragon Rush plus Stomping Tantrum makes Garchomp very Life Orb reliant or just kind of weak. I think we'll definitely find out that like Galarian Moltres though is gonna be scary for a lot of teams because you can also just run like Specs Hurricane in the Rain. It's going to be a very solid Rain core, and I think actually Articuno does get Ice Shard for weakness policy on Garchomp.
It does, yeah.
I know he was talking about doing some other transactions. We'll see if those come to play. Ivysaur and Kung Fu, unfortunately, will not be coming to any matches, I would imagine.
Kung Fu is cool.
Yeah.
No, he's cool.
But it's a really solid team. Just, it theoretically probably could be better without Blastoise and some other mon, and maybe a different crowd over Garchomp. He'll definitely overpower a lot of people with this team.
All right, then Tristan, who 4 of the 5 people here put at number 4.
Sometimes that happens.
Tristan definitely jumped up with the addition of Gigalith. Hippowdon is very passive in that... Oh, I'm sorry.
Gigalife.
I just don't like Hippowdon in VGC, especially on an electric terrain team, because one of the big things it does is yawn. Now with Gigalith, next to, let's say, a Bronzong, you can do that thing I mentioned before of Trick Room into Bulldoze weakness policy. So it's a sand setter that you also have to really fear on its own. Having a top core of Landorus, Theory, and Tapu Koko, Rapid Strike, or Shifu is just kind of dumb. Hopefully he doesn't get caught with Cradley right next to it and accidentally just not attack. Talonflame for having just the Galewind's Tailwind for his other mons that aren't sand is super solid. But I think Dracozolt probably could be in the MVP discussion for this team, just having it in sand, but then also electric terrain. Thank God he didn't draft Avon with Soak like in Teleon. I hate that strat because it's just impossible to deal with Dracozolt sometimes under that. So we'll see if he ends up doing that or not. But I really, really like this team. I think the top core works really well, and like I said with the other weather teams, this team definitely functions outside of its weather.
Cool. Yeah, I thought it was cool. I mean, I really don't know a whole lot, but I was thinking Dracozolt plus Coco makes a lot of sense. So, all right.
I think Tristan stands the best chance at being the person who takes the title away from me.
Yeah, the best chance at not a Mickey Mouse ring.
Yeah,
Okay, but that's not the point.
I just want to play with friends.
I know.
Only put random nobodies.
Okay, that's not the
Get
point,
back to
though.
singles, Jake.
Will, where did it land in the singles team? How did it do
Tristan
singles?
had, I think, the number 3 singles team, just slightly being edged out by Skylar's Sand.
This is like this is like your Speed Tour team a couple off seasons ago.
Yeah, it's not far off. It's got a similar concept for sure. But yeah, it's a good looking team. It's the hazards are good. Removal is good.
Why does he have a crow gun? I just realized that. Nice.
Because
Wow.
of his mascot.
Well, yeah, I know, but
He needs another,
Hey,
another
if he
water
can-
immunity for Lando.
If he can use it to beat Nick 2 seasons ago, he can use it to beat
true.
True.
He was 1% away from getting swept on a cross on all.
I know.
Also, one other
I
point
know.
I'll put is that since this team is also super physically offensive, it's nice to have a contrary Malamar just for intimidate stuff.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Yeah.
And
That
then,
Crow
Trick
guy's
Room, like I
coming to
said,
I'm
definitely
telling you,
has a Trick Room board.
that Krogan is coming to a couple games.
He always brings it, so.
It gets fake out, so it is usable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So moving on from there, we have Ant, and I did say that Tristan had a very, very good top four. Teams are going to learn to respect Anthony's top three. The fact that he was able to get Tapu Fini, Metagross, Thundurus is just kind of stupid. He got sniped on Urshifu, and I think he's perfectly happy with the team he got. I've used Fini in my first full-fledged VGC season. It by far and away was my MVP. I was like 19-3 in 8 season games. I just want to put out a fun fact. The other VGC league that I'm in, keep in mind this was Series 8, so it had Uber's Legendaries. Their Division 2 kill leader was Metagross. In 8 games, it had 43 fucking kills.
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah.
What does that even out to? What does that even out per game?
Well,
like-
since there's like 2 matches per whatever, and you can at max get like theoretically 11 kills in 1 week.
Yeah, but that's still
He's
like
basically
4
averaging though like 5-6 kills per match. So like 3 in each game. So he's almost getting sweeps every single time that it's out there.
Yeah, that's
Um,
insane.
And Anthony theoretically could replicate that because he has Thundurus next to it. And while he doesn't have like Trick Room Bulldoze, I keep mentioning that, he has other ways to proc Metagross off. Thundurus gets access to Fling and Brutal Swing. So Thundurus could, let's say, fling a Salad Berry and then give Metagross a +1 speed, +2 attack. It Dynamaxes, it goes for max steal, gets a +1 defense. You're fucked. That's
nice.
probably going to be his MVP, is Metagross, is how well he uses that. Tapu Fini literally fits on any team build. Calm Mind is great, Specs is great, Scarf, Dynamax option. It's a great weakness policy user as well. Mence Crook for double Intimidate is cool. Also, it's just, again, Dynamax options. Very nice. If you notice, Crocodile has a third ability that never is used in singles called Anger Point. He has a Frostless with Frost Breath, so you Dynamax and get +6 attack. There's so many lead combos on this team. It's disgusting to try to find a lead that deals with everything.
Nah, bro. Anger Point versus Urshifu. Come on.
True.
He ran Anger Point against me. Oh no, wait.
Yeah, no, I was
he ran
against
Anger
you.
Point against me last
Yeah, I
season.
did. I told him to run that, yeah.
I trust me, I was prepped for that. It wasn't
Cool.
warm.
Cool. But yeah, Mian Chao is also a decent VGC mon. Gets access to fast coaching support, also for Metagross, Crocodile, Meds, Thunderous, Fake Out, U-Turn. It's got other stuff as well. I think it's Ally Switch, which is, again, Lurantis, he just wanted. You have Thunderous for Defiant, so you don't even have to really worry about Intimidate on the team. Plus, Metagross gets Clear Body, so you're not getting that attack stat down anyways. He'll probably find a way to have Volcarona work as an offensive Dynamax user, but it more so in the format, it shines as a support mon. It gets Rage Powder, so if you want to set up like Dragon Dances with Salamence, you can totally do that. It gets access to fast String Shot, so basically it's this, you hit both Pokemon lose -2 speed, so it's just a different version of Tailwind basically. I think it also just gets Tailwind, yeah. Menta and Volcarona like the Tailwind. And then Morgrim is just Grimmsnarl without the offense. It still gets Prankster Fake Tears, it gets Fake Prankster Screens, Fake Out. It's a very, very good 3-point mon. Probably could be worth more. I think it's definitely going to be a horse race between Tristan and Anthony.
I was going to say, is you think Ant is probably like the second best chance? Okay.
I think Tristan's experience of the format, though, is going to lend itself a little bit more. Because I think also Ant could just get lost in the sauce and just only go setup and just not really worry about his opposing teams. But yeah, this is a scary draft. That being said, there are definitely ways I think you can prep for an abundance of his leads. Maybe not all of them, but if you can recognize the situations that are coming to you, I think it is still manageable. It's just going to maybe keep you up at night, one night or two.
Well, looking at his team in a single scope, I gotta say, it's pretty solid all the way around. Two decent rockers. He's got some good Volturn. Volcarona's cool. Crocodile knockoff. Feeny, it's a good team. I gotta say, I think this is just like a solid team for both. That's kind of cool.
So the final two, and of course I'm gonna fucking fillet myself because they're both teams I drafted. Saunus's team at number 2. At this point, I just decided to embrace being evil as possible. He told me he wanted Fat. I got him Fat. I'm like, you know what? Let's just get him also every single good Trick Room option because no one else is taking it. Having also the option of Pheromosa to speed swap into a Max last year or Stack Attacka is going to be fun.
How is Pheromosa legal?
Because it's purely support. It's not a mon you really fear offensively because it is so frail that most mons will just kill it, especially in a Dynamax setting. It's almost a terrible Dynamax user because if the opponent likely could live if they also Dynamax, Pheromosa is just down.
Yikes.
It's pretty much only there for fast coaching and speed swap. Theoretically, I could have put Riolu on this team to do copycat stuff, but also have this Prankster coaching as opposed to Pheromosa needing to, I guess, outspeed. Because once it speed swaps, it's just kind of dead weight. But having Togekiss, probably the best follow me user outside of Indeedee, next to Cresselia or Stack Attacka to almost guarantee Trick Room gets set up. Again, having Dusknoir for Trick Room plus Bulldoze for Stack Attacka. If you think you can intimidate down Glastrier and Stack Attacka, there is a competitive Melodic in the back. And there's also everyone's favorite time stalling core, Chansey Shuckle. And if you don't know what that strategy does, basically you have Shuckle and Chansey up next to each other. Shuckle goes for the fun move called Guard Split, and you average out your defenses between Chansey and Shuckle. And now Chansey can take 3 close combats from Shifu. Pair that with evasion clause not being a thing, and you can minimize.
Let's go.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah. I not so successfully used it in the season, but when I was like, hey, I played like ass, do you mind just playing a couple more matches? I destroyed the guy with that strat. And yeah, it's just because even though I was at like +6 evasion, Urshifu hit all 3 close combats.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. Eldegoss and Stunfisk are just there. They're not actually going to do anything on this team. Stunfisk, I guess, is just to make sure the team has an answer to Electrics.
That's hers was MVP, though.
Yeah, I think the big way people are going to play around this team is how they can use taunt effectively and fake out to kind of just rob turns. Just make sure that like Trick Room doesn't come up, because unless if he's running the speed swap strat, if you can keep momentum on your side, you probably could be fine for this team. It's just having Cresselia, Stacked, Glacier, Togekiss as your top 4 is going to be a problem for a lot of teams. And if you don't respect him just leading like Trick Room, and then Shuckle is the slowest thing on the planet, so it automatically goes first in Trick Room to get the guard split off on Chansey. It's Sonison is going to be his biggest weakness of this team, because I know Sonison has a tendency to just kind of rely on what works from week to week. So I don't think he's going to truly use the full potential of this draft. But you're welcome that it's not me using this team.
Oh, great. And then we have you.
Yeah, hi.
And we have your team.
So my team is awful.
number 1.
I just like putting it at number 1. No, so I got sniped a decent amount in this draft. I wanted Glaring Moltres to pair with Comfey because triage Draining Kiss into Weakness Policy Dynamax is a thing. But Celesteela fell to me, and it's like, you know what, fuck it, we'll take Celly. It's great. I wanted Lapras because it also does the things with Comfey, is that you can triage Giga Drain, Weakness Policy. Goodra also gets the Weakness Policy option. Having Bouffalant next to Comfey with Sap Sipper, also with the triage stuff, but then Comfey is actually a half-decent Trick Room setter in VGC. And then also having the Floral Healing, so a priority healing move for, let's say, a Celesteela or a Lapras that's behind screens is very nice, both of which who are supported by Lightning Rod. So have fun trying to actually kill those mons. Wishy Washy is just there as a more offensive version for the Trick Room mode of Lapras plus Comfey. Cinderace also just kind of fell to me. I'll talk about Mudbray in just a second.
Yes.
So Whimsicott plus Cinderace is a very standard offensive board because you just Tailwind and then Cinderace just kills things. Cinderace acting first as a G-Max mon, as probably one of the best G-Maxes next to Lapras, is a very hard mon to deal with just because it gets stabbed on all of its Dynamax moves because Libero is legal.
Nice.
Mudbray, I
Yes.
have strats for, and it's literally just because of beat up on Whimsicott activating stamina. Fun fact, a max F Mudbray only takes like 35 from a Muddy Water of Tapu Fini. So if I Dynamax Mudbray, I actually could work. So I'm really trying to look out for that to like get that off.
Oh my god, please. I love Mudbray. He's so cute.
Yeah.
God, I'm so glad I'm not playing VGC. Oh
Yeah.
my god, this is awful.
Also, I guess Scrafty's on here because Intimidate and Fake Out, it's just a good glue. I definitely see why this is like the most unsexy like singles draft. And especially if just looking at it from a singles mindset. But VGC, I've run it by a couple of people in other leagues. They're like, how in the fuck did you get this team? It's going to be solid. I will say downsides, Lapras is a double-edged sword because while getting Veil is really cool, a lot of teams could just bring Brick Break. But then also you're sacrificing your Dynamax for a Lapras when you have options like Celesteela and Cinderace. But getting those screens up, like I said, next to a Goodra or a Celesteela, and you don't have a way around that, plus Intimidate support, I have a lot of tools that I can work with. So
For sure.
as long as I don't like be an idiot, I think this team's going to work.
Lamicki is at it again. He is
just
here.
want to play.
I know you want to play with your friends.
So you guys want to do finals predictions? We'll go VGC up,
Sure.
the round down.
Jake, obviously you can go. I mean, you've been talking a lot. We'll have you go last in this. I'll start, and we'll just kind of work our way. I'll take. Obviously, Jake will be there. I'm gonna take my boy Tristan, and then I think he like beats Ant, and I think Monster. I'll say is like the other. Those are like the top 4. And I'll take Jake in a 3-game series in the finals. Tristan steals game 2, and then yeah.
I'll go next, I guess. I'll have Jake, Scott, Monster, and Tristan at the top 4. I think Monster gives Tristan everything he can handle, and Monster moves on. Jake mollywops Scott, and then Monster gives Jake. He gives him a tough game 1, and then Jake just comes back and just sweeps him. So Jake in 3.
Okay.
My top four, I think, would be Jake. I want to say Ant, Sonison, and Tristan. I think top two would definitely be Jake. And I don't know with the second one. Because, like, I don't know. If Sonison can use his team, I see him easily getting second. But
Oh
that's
yeah,
the issue. I don't know if he'll be
That's the
able to
he's
biggest
fully use
question.
his
100%
team.
new to the format, so I
That's
definitely
the
see him a bit of
issue.
a challenging team to use to get there. But if he can adjust quickly, that's going to be a threat.
Like, if he can learn how to use his team before, like, midpoint in the season and then just start picking up wins to at least scrape off and get, like, a bottom seed, I think he can do it.
I would
But,
be terrified as the third seed if I had to play him as a sixth.
yeah, otherwise, I don't know. I don't know if it's Ant or Tristan. I could see either one being second out of those three.
Okay. Just throw one.
Will,
Just
what you
no,
thinking?
hold on. Just throw one out there real quick. Just
Okay, well, I'm biased towards one of the two.
Ant, obviously.
Yeah, I'm biased towards it's Ant.
All right. Well, then we'll go to Will.
Top four, taking Jake, Tristan, Ant, Monster. Finals, Jake Monster, Champ, Jake.
Wow.
Champ shoes.
Skylar versus Ace.
Yeah, I
then,
picked
best
Skylar to be
signal,
the runner-up
best
before I heard
signal.
that explanation.
then Jake, we'll have what's your finals? And you cannot pick yourself.
Then I
That's
think
no
a very
fun.
interesting finals would be Ant Tristan. Monster and Scott definitely probably would be in that conversation. But I don't see many teams that have an answer to just all of Anthony's options, and then just Tristan's modes are just solid enough as they are that I think they're two by far and away the best options to win.
Okay.
I'll take Tristan the winning.
All right. Makes sense. D2. This is a fun one. Jake, we'll have you start this one off. We'll go in like reverse order.
Aaron Brady finals. It's going to be fun to watch. Chris is probably my dark horse. I think he definitely has a shot in there. But I definitely think it's Aaron's title to lose.
Yeah. You're probably right. Will?
Oof, it's tough. I think in the top four, I'm gonna say Aaron, Buxton, Noah, and Paul. And that's only because I don't know anything about Brady, so I don't trust him yet. I think the finals will be. I think the finals is gonna be Noah and Buxton, and I'm picking Noah to win.
Okay. All right. On your Nick grind. Speaking of that, Nick, what you got?
Brady and Aaron definitely in the top two. Noah and Buxton. Uh, I think it's gonna be. I think what's it called? Noah's gonna give Aaron everything he can handle. Close 1-0 victory. Shout out to Rain. And I think see, this one's tough because I got to go experience with Buxton, but I also love Brady's team. I'm gonna go Brady over Buxton, and then I'm gonna go Brady over Aaron in finals because I feel like I like Brady's matchup slightly versus Aaron's a little more. Obviously, Hydreigon's gonna look fun.
That Coco looks kind of deadly.
That Coco looks fun though versus Aaron.
That is fair.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Brady over Aaron.
Theo.
Like Jake said, it's Aaron's final.
So
Yeah.
I really do think it's the obvious final of Brady Aaron. And I agree with Jake. It's really Aaron's season to lose at this point. At least how it's looking to start. It's Aaron's season to lose. I think Buxton, I think, is for sure going to be up there, at least as of right now, looking at these teams. But my issue is with this last team. Actually, sorry, I trade that. It's Chris, not Buxton. I switched that. But this fourth team, I could see it going to Buxton, Paul, or Noah, depending on what factors go on during the season. If Paul gets back to where he was in season 9, and then kind of enacts part of the Paul factor, you know how it is.
True.
I think he's got it. Noah, if he can get back to where he was when he was not last season was not a good. I say last season was not a great show. Wait, Noah played last season, right? Or am I skipping a season?
His last two seasons haven't been great. But he did make playoffs last season, but it still was not, in a D3 that we thought was winnable.
It could have been 100. It could have been better. Yeah.
I say last season wasn't great for him.
Who?
Paul and Taylor.
That's gonna be one to watch.
Oh my god, that's prime time.
Like I think Buxton has a chance. I really just think that depends on how he uses this team. Paul
Yeah.
really depends on if he's back into it, and I think that's the same for Noah. Is if they're back into it, then they
Hey,
have a good
Paul's on
shot. But
summer break.
otherwise,
He's
it could
gonna
be
have
any of those three.
time. I think he's gonna do okay.
That's fair.
My top four. Oh, actually, you didn't give your final. What is your finals prediction?
I said my final was Brady, Aaron, and Aaron winning.
Okay.
'Cause
All right. Well, I'm
really-
gonna be different. I love my boys Brady and Aaron. I help Aaron build almost every week. Brady is my fucking dude. I hope to God they make playoffs at the very least and they can make finals. I'm gonna be different though. I'm taking Chris Taylor, and I'm taking Taylor 2-0, and he's gonna get his ring, and everyone in FBL will be mad. We love Taylor.
That's when the FBL
Yeah.
shuts down.
I'd love to see what the D2 coaches can do without D1 coaches voting for him.
That's
Oh.
fair. I don't build for Aaron. He builds like a team, and then I review it, and I just like help him with like EVs and yeah,
No, that's helping, bro. No,
Mm.
And
Yeah,
moms
you're right,
and
that is
moves. And, you know,
whatever. I don't
Come
know.
on, I pick all his moves for him. The EVs
Man,
are
fuck
there
out of here.
already.
You guys pick Aaron. All right.
I pat his back while he battles. You know, it's
He's
fine.
like speaking which it's actually just my showdown name. I
Whatever.
battle for him too.
Whatever.
I know
All
his
right.
showdown password. It's already through. Yeah.
D1, you fuckers. God, it's tough. I'm definitely gonna take Nick and Harris. After that, I think it's really up in the air. I really like this is not like an impossible D1 just because Jamal's team isn't like crazy good. I'll take a fun one. I'll say Will and James are the
Let's
other
go.
two.
That's not fun. That was my pick.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Nick. I think Harris loses. I think James like pulls off some crazy shit. You know, I'm gonna say that the lack of death catches up to fucking Harris. James pulls off upset of the year, and then Nick kind of beats James' ass in the finals like 4-0.
Yo, Nick could never beat me in a semifinal.
Have we ever played in a semifinal?
I think we did in Speed Tours.
Oh,
Have you guys ever been in the same
I
division
guess-
technically? Until now?
No. And he's running the gauntlet this year. He forgets I'm part of the gauntlet this year now.
True.
Well, I'll go next. Mine was Nick, Harris, Will, and James. And I think finals is Nick and Harris.
Oh
But
wow.
my issue is, I don't know. It really depends on if Nick's gonna pull he actually does know what Harris is gonna pull and actually can prep and build for it, unlike he could for Amanda the 3 times.
Oh my god.
Or,
Ooh.
You're
or
about to ban you from the fucking server.
Yeah, I remember getting hacked too. Yeah, hold this L, Theo. You got that fake third D or D3 ring? Yeah.
The truest Mickey Mouse
We're
ring.
literally
That's
sending.
that
We're
doesn't
literally
insult
sending.
me.
We're
I
literally
didn't
sending.
identify that.
This season. You going 0-11. Robert waxing your ass week 1. I'm helping him build already on the side.
You already have my team. You can't do that. That's cheating.
I'll send. I haven't looked at it yet.
I'll send
It
it.
hasn't stopped
I
you
heard
before.
that. Wow.
It's in a chat you're
Will-
in.
Will-
It's in a chat
no,
you're
Will-
in.
Anyway, let's
Will.
keep her going. Will Nick, who do you got?
Well, what round you play, Theo? What week you play, Theo? I'm helping you that week.
I think it's late in the season.
That'll be Theo's late season loss. Then. Anyways,
All right, my
Uh,
4 picks.
No, Nick's up. I'm sorry, Will. Nick is up.
Will can
My
go.
bad.
Will can go next.
Okay.
No, Will can go next. It's fine.
Oh, thank you. Such a gentleman. My 4 picks. Harris, Nick. I think Kyle gets in. And then my man, Robert, with the 4
Oh, get out of here.
Where?
Dude, ban him.
Robert,
Ban him.
And then I think it's going to be a Nick Harris finals.
I don't think Robert has ever won a playoff game in FBL history, other
Yes,
than
he
in
has.
D2. And what in D2 he won 1 match and then
I
lost.
thought
to
he won a
Blue the following
D1
week.
one a couple seasons ago.
No,
Well, either
no.
way, maybe he's just like the Bengals. I think this is his year, though.
He's always lost round 1.
It was a meme for a while. It's a meme that he's losing round 1.
I believe I'm on the Robert train. So yeah, Nick Harris.
Dude, hop
Robert,
off of his
Kyle.
dick. Shit.
Whoa, take it easy. I'm gonna take a Nick Harris finals, and I'll pick Nick to win.
Can we stop picking me to win, please?
No.
It's
Like,
your season to
please?
lose. It's your season to lose.
No, it's not because everyone has a good team. Deal.
We're starting the jinx. It's your season to
All
lose.
right, and then Jake, who you got?
Well, in betting, I put Harris beating Nick in finals before really looking at the matchup, so I kind of stuck to that one. I still don't really see a reason for Harris not getting to the finals, and I definitely like Nick's team. So I unfortunately will have to ride the wave and say Nick over Harris.
I
Dark
hate
horse,
Olympics
though,
so much.
we're all still sleeping on Carboni. Made it
Oh
True.
my god.
last 2 seasons.
Wait, I take that back. Actually, my finals match, I'm changing it. Carboni will.
Yo,
Let's go.
Ew,
I
ew.
match Carboni Robert.
Carboni,
All right,
Robert.
I'll do.
Carboni, Nintendo. It's time.
I'll do mine now. Nintendo's beating Carmel again. I'm gonna go Will Harris, Jamal, and Mystery.
Yo, you love to see it.
Actually, wait. Harris,
Oh,
Jamal, Kyle, or Harris, Jamal, Will, Mystery.
okay.
Harris obliterates Mystery.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
Mystery.
expected. Yeah.
he does.
Yeah.
We'll see about
Will pull some juju shit and beats Jamal again in the finals
Yes,
or the
sir.
semifinals.
Yes,
Rematch
sir.
rematch of last season. Will gets his revenge.
No way.
Ew.
Yeah,
Will's
you're
like
right.
The outcome that
Will's
no
like-
one wants to see. Ew.
Will's like
You'll
crying.
love
Will's
to
like,
see
oh.
it.
Will's like, someone believes.
I mean, obviously, I can't.
Too.
I can't vote for myself, and I'm not. I wouldn't vote for myself, but
You know what?
I
mean,
noticed that no one picked me.
Theo, you gotta show you ain't like. Look, I make fun of Jake for being Mickey Mouse. You are the most Mickey Mouse until you prove it. So, all right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up. We've been recording for a fucking minute. So, if there's anything else you guys want to say or plug or do anything, obviously I'm gonna plug my Twitter. Make sure you follow me at Based Mystery. That is my third account because my last 2 have been suspended. Fuck Terry Bradshaw.
there's a reason they've been suspended.
There is a reason. It's because I told Terry Bradshaw to fall off a building. Make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. And yeah, I think unless you guys have anything to say, I'm good to go.
I'm not winning.
All right, Jake, calm down.
Terry Bradshaw.
I'm
off the building.
probably winning. And I'm
He finally changed it. Well, have yourselves a good day, and
I'm
we'll catch
losing in semis,
we'll
though.
catch you next time. Bye bye.